returned to Alaska for a night of well-earned celebration, relaxation, and just general all-around good times to be had by all parties involved, except for Locke, who is unconscious still at the temple.
Did Trin sing
But alive.
a whole bunch?
You know what? I'm going to say he did, and I'm going to say the songs were super awesome. And as a matter of fact, like, yeah, he sang like 3 or 4 that he should just sing for us next week.
So we'll have to have like a flashback.
flashback.
Yeah, it's going to be a flashback.
So you're
next
giving
week
him a
we'll hear.
warning
Yeah.
that he should spend the next week
Yeah.
making songs.
Yeah, 4 of them.
DM done gave out
Four of them.
homework.
Yeah, homework.
Oh my
Homework.
God.
Homework.
He's got makeup
Homework.
homework.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the worst.
Oh, that's true. I already gave him a bunch of homework too for the show, so.
The responsive. Oh God.
He said 3 whole songs.
Yeah, something like that. Whole songs. All right. Whoops, I accidentally closed something. So, yeah. You spend the night joyfully just kind of relaxing and celebrating the fact that you all survived the encounter and trying to more or less put together what had happened. It's strange, and you're just not really quite sure what to make of some goblin shaman, so like summoning some evil ancient relic from the past to, you know, destroy or harm his own people, and why all of that is happening. But, you know, it doesn't matter now because you put it into it, and you can take pride in that. So it starts getting kind of really late, or early into the morning, I should say, at this point. And you're all getting ready to try to get some sort of rest coming up for the day. Been kind of closing up, and most of the patrons have already left, and it's really just all of you at your table, kind of alone in the Darkleaf Tavern, just hanging out, doing your thing, drinking away, being merry, and all that good shit.
All that good shit.
Yep.
I don't know about any of you, but I am particularly exhausted.
I am holding up cool. All right, I'd say. I lost it there twice. I'm still on it. Go drink.
Didn't we just talk about actually swallowing your food when you eat it?
Did anybody check on the Warforged?
And I was letting him rest. His face is really fucked up.
We should probably check in though. It's been a little while.
Maybe in the morning at this point.
Yes, it is quite late.
Isn't it morning?
Yeah, my drink's almost empty too.
It is morning.
It's morning.
Well,
Oh, is it morning now?
We've been doing this all night.
I was surprised you were up. What did you say?
I think we all passed out for a little while here and there when we were eating and drinking, but the sun coming through the doors.
Yes, I assume we must go check in on him now.
Let us go look.
Well, I mean, I did just finish my drink, so I suppose we can.
well, good luck. I'm going to bed.
If you insist.
I'm gonna head back to the temple to check on Locke.
Yep. Sounds like 3 of us are going to be heading back. We assume Trin is passed out, drunk, at this time.
Yeah, sounds great.
He tried to outdrink the Goliath.
Sounds great.
No, he's passed out in the booth, but, you know, I'm going to pull a little blankie over him and stuff like that. And just leave him.
Don't touch my hair. Don't touch my hair.
All right, so we finish our food and drink. Ulrich heads up to bed, and 3 of us head to check on our robot buddy. We also got an accurate from Alex, so it sounds like that's exactly.
You know, he's not at the table. He doesn't exist to me right now. All right.
Damn. Harsh.
Whatever I say Trin is doing is accurate. Okay. And he's passed out. He snores when he sleeps. It's very disruptive. It's really loud for such a small being. And it's just like like loud. Okay.
It's like the singing
Yeah.
voice.
He even gets kind of like snot bubbles in the nose and just pop every once in a while. It's pretty gross, but whatever.
Oh, see, now he looks more like an actual goblin.
Yeah, a little bit. The birds. It burns us.
We brought him back to life. We get to do this.
So, you make your way back to the temple. You don't find anybody in attendance yet. It's pretty early in the morning. The sun hasn't even fully rose at this point. But you kind of make your way all the way past the altar around the side where he was brought back, and find a small room with a bed and all the necessities that you need, probably designed for one of the acolytes, but he's occupying it currently. And yeah, you see Locke there.
I'm gonna walk up to the body, lean down, and just kind of smack him in the face a few times. Dink, dink.
Godric!
Yeah, see if he wakes up.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah, so the lights that are his eyes kind of blink on.
I'm just looking down over you, just
Alright, yeah. I kind of let out a laugh. Currently, my previously pretty much split in half face has a pretty horrible crack that goes all the way around. And the back is, how would you describe it? Like someone filled in a hole with molten metal, doesn't quite match.
so it's like off color almost.
Yeah, so it looks newer, shinier. I guess I'm probably naked. I mean, I'm a robot, doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
So, and my robes got ruined. So,
that's true.
yeah, same with the body, just like a continuous crack that goes all the way down. Pretty horribly scarred. One of the eyes doesn't light up.
You look like shit. But how are you?
I'm alive. I'm surprised to be alive.
It was a close call.
Well, don't have to worry. We killed the Leshen. After you went unconscious, we finished our business with it.
Oh dear. This one not working, is it?
No.
It does not appear so.
Excellent. We're going to have to find some parts.
Not that again. It was weird enough salvaging the parts from not working use.
And they're quite hard to find.
They have this dead look. It's creepy.
You can't just magically repair that kind of thing?
Maybe with enough, but
She fix your arm, maybe see if Katarina can do it.
I think maybe this is as good as it's going to get.
Fair enough. So, well, what are we doing now?
Well, I'm conscious. Luckily, I don't really feel pain. But I can tell you, I'm in no condition to be adventuring.
No. I meant laughter. I plan to sleep. I'm tired. Leshen's hit hard.
Goblins hit hard. Wolves bite hard.
You went back out.
Yes. We went and hunted it down. Found where the drums were coming from and killed it with the Dag, the dwarf.
Well done.
Trin also died in that fight where you went down.
I forgot about that.
How could...
It has been a long night.
It has been, but
I'm sorry.
He's gone then. That's
he,
a shame.
by the grace of gods, he was brought back despite all odds. So he's actually sleeping in a rather messy pile back at the tavern.
The god of this temple, Sahanin, brought him back.
You know, this adventuring group seems to attract the attention of a lot of powers.
A tech malfunction. That's all.
You know what, buddy?
I'm just saying, you're having trouble staying up.
You can't keep your talent up.
Yeah, you just having trouble staying up. I'm saying, it's rough things.
Ha. Because it could be something else. He's talking about penis.
And all the drama and tension is gone now.
Yeah, sorry.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Totally.
That's great. I
Yep,
love it.
We're terrible people. Continue.
So you celebrated. Good.
Uh,
It's done for sure. The creature is eliminated.
The goblins mentioned a shaman?
Yes, apparently there was a shaman that is what made it, supposedly. I think. I don't remember.
And the shaman was nowhere to be seen when you went out there.
No.
He had left by then.
What was the name again?
So it was a group of goblins that had made it come.
They were the
Yes,
ones that
so.
were summoning it, they're bringing it to this world, supposedly.
But also sacrificing their own to do so.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, we don't have any evidence, though. We found a whole bunch of runic stones, and we didn't actually witness anyone cast the spells. And the legend seemed to appear randomly. The stones were pulsing with magic, but I mean, we don't actually know.
I trust you all to have done the right thing. It's just curious. Did anybody have any idea why they were doing it? Other than to weaken this city's defenses? Or was that just a lucky coincidence? The Leshen killed the one unicorn that it was channeling.
Trin was doing all the talking. He was the only one that was talking to goblins, because he's the only one who could. So you'd have to ask him more if he found anything else out. That is all what he told us, anyway.
It's what we put together, is that they summoned it most likely to cause discontent and probably go after the unicorn, but we didn't see a lot. We were more focused on just wiping out the threat for now.
I do believe that the dragon orbs will be of a higher concern to us.
I agree.
The dragon orbs. Forgot about them.
You have a very interesting memory.
You have no idea.
You really don't. It's terrible.
Yeah, just continually surprises me. Maybe if Trin gets my memories back, I'll remember how many times this happened.
I would say it's a flaw of the organic memory. He's hit on the head very often.
Oh, I've witnessed. It's like really hard. Really hard hits in the head.
Almost like he leans into it.
Right? It's very strange. Especially when you don't have horns and, like, you know, a thick skull. I just don't understand why he does it.
This is thick.
I'm not as thick as this.
When you headbutt something, it just kind of keeps you going.
See, but I have horns on mine. It hurts back when things do it to me.
I'm sorry, I'm not horny.
I'm not taking the bait. Nope. We did it once already.
Clearly, you've still had too much alcohol coursing through your veins.
It's my natural state. But last we talked about it, we had to go to Leore, right? And meet somebody, the contact.
Yes, some dragon expert.
Yes, Locke and I have some information from Nova, but we can go over all that once we've had some more rest, I think.
All right. Well then. Seems like we have a plan.
Are you going to stay here now that you're actually awake and back with us, or did you want to try and come back to the tavern? I'm not really familiar with the type of healing that you need.
Oh, I don't know how. I'm kind of like inspecting myself now. Yeah, that looks pretty bad.
We should probably buy you close.
It's not. I'm sure I'm not going to offend anyone.
Didn't you take a whole bunch of gold out of his purse too?
What?
We needed quite a large sum to try and bring Trin back, you know, resurrection and all. And I was kind of preoccupied at the moment, but I want to say that he took quite a lot of money out of your purses.
I didn't take money from you. I took money to buy healing.
I'm not upset. I'm not dead.
Last time I spent money, you were very upset.
You bought a cart. Not a keg, a cart.
It lasted for a week. It was great.
It was broken and spilled everywhere because you
It had character,
That's
like
a-
you.
No.
If you want, we can pop out and try to see if anywhere is open and get you some clothes, and you can come back to the tavern with us. If you feel like you can leave here.
Oh, I can. I'm sure that the clerics and priests here have done what they can to repair. The components heal themselves over time, but it looks like they've done what they can.
All right, so you come back with us and actually sleep near friends then?
Yeah. I don't sleep, but yes.
You know what I mean.
I know. And yes, I would enjoy our company.
Good.
All right, well, head back to the tavern then.
Well, are you comfortable walking out without clothes, or did you want us to try and find you some of those?
Well, I really only wear them to make everyone else more comfortable.
I mean, no one's really out there on the streets right now. Well, no, it's morning. I did the same thing.
I stand up. I stand up from where I'm laying, and I'm like, I actually don't have genitals, so there's nothing offensive happening. I think.
And then I just take my cloak, my large cloak.
Wear that.
That works.
It's huge.
It's huge.
Don't forget to tuck the buttons.
Why is it so heavy?
I was gonna say, is it like a weighted blanket to the
It very much is. It's basically
So
just
much
a dire
fur.
bear.
It's so much fur. It's so. I just don't understand. You're not
It's a
supposed to live
beautiful
in the
train.
cold if you can't, live in the cold.
I am a fire giant. I do not like the cold at all. I hated the cold.
Well, you can keep it because I don't feel it.
Be nice to the elves. Don't show them your shiny bits.
They don't care.
Let's just get you back to the
That's a
tower.
good point. Give me back.
We had made such good progress, too.
I feel free.
All right.
I do chuckle.
Tavern?
I'll find some robes for everyone. Honestly, it's nice to have pockets.
Locke is all like, look at this rope. It's got buckets.
I'm sorry, just more the Dane says the cold never bothered Locke anyway.
That's true. Yeah.
Cold never bothered me. Oh, that's gonna be a song now.
Well then. I could use a nap.
Aye, the party was nice, but I definitely need to sleep for a couple hours, if not many hours. So, tavern?
Yes, let's go.
Cool.
Let's go.
Let's go. So we head back to join Ulrich and the Snot Bubble Trin.
Yes.
What?
Goblins and snot. It just makes sense.
Yeah.
It does.
I've seen a lot of 9s, 7s, and 8s. Also low rollers tonight.
Has nobody rolled that 20
No
yet?
one's. No one's got 19 again.
Pockets are important for all of those things. Pockets are amazing.
Yeah.
More adventuring gear should be made with pockets. It's a big ploy by the big bag of holding industry to make you buy multiple bags of holding. Instead of actually putting pockets on adventure, it's horrible.
That's probably true.
Big holding.
Big holding
Incorporated.
bag.
Yeah.
Big
Is
holding
that why
bag.
women's clothes don't have pockets?
Yes.
You have to buy purses.
Yes.
Yeah, they're working together.
Yep. I mean, look at these male adventurers with their big cloaks and all of their pockets and everything. And look at stuff over here. Just
Armor that covers the midriff.
I know.
insane.
So, I mean, I know mine's scaled, but still, like, God. What?
You said male adventurers, and I was just wondering what's wrong with the little chainmail.
What's wrong with a little, or what's wrong
No.
with very little?
No, no. It's, yeah, I get it, Justin. That's good.
I don't know. I appreciate the chainmail bikini.
Well, everyone can appreciate it.
Maybe except for the person wearing
Chafing.
one that goes flying.
Yeah.
Chafing.
Look, it's a fantasy already. Just chafing doesn't exist.
Okay.
Unfortunately, you found a whammy, Zambies.
We pretend that you guys don't even use the restroom in this world. So
Yeah.
we're just gonna keep going that way. Yeah.
Oh,
Keep
man, I have
pretending.
a serious restroom like roleplay moment coming up. And I think I remember Luthog with the restroom moments as
Oh,
well.
not
We're not
again.
talking
No,
about
no,
Luthog.
no. We go back to the tavern. The four of us go back to the tavern.
Yep.
Go and try to get some sleep.
Go get some sleep.
Yeah.
Rest up. Take your long rest finally.
Yay!
thank goodness.
That fucking no heroes never rest.
Was brutal.
Almost killed you.
It forced us to go fight that.
But
man
we
thing, and
we
it was
love the
rough.
what?
We do love the store.
We
The
love the
store's
store.
awesome.
The store's
Because
awesome.
while the store may have almost killed us, it also saved us.
That's true.
It's a love-hate relationship,
What
and
the-
that's the key.
What the
to it.
store giveth, what the store taketh away, it
It
also
giveth back.
Yeah, without the heal, the mass heals, and some of the other items that came your way from the store, it's
Yeah, that
very
would've been-
possible one or two of you may have.
Yeah.
They were
I was
Down.
down. A couple people. Yeah, we
For
were
sure.
having a tough time. So
Yeah, it was really close.
it was big combat.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to take a rest.
And we went into that combat. We got a short rest.
Yeah,
But
you did get
we-
a short rest.
That was all we had going in there. So
Yeah.
a lot of our items still
Yeah.
gone permanently, possibly permanently.
Possibly permanently. I
Possibly
agree.
permanently. So
Permanently possible.
yes. So we all go back, go to sleep. Those of us in sleep.
All right. So, how long are you guys gonna sleep for? It's still pretty early in the morning, so like I said, the sun is just barely peeking over the.
Leshen battle,
Eastern
short rest.
horizon.
Leshen battle, all night party. I'm going for at least a solid
Well,
8 hours.
I wouldn't say it was all night partying because
We
you
got
guys
in
had to
late.
walk back.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah.
still, we
It
were.
was
out.
like
Yeah.
10 p.m. When you guys left to go find the Leshen. It was pretty late.
I'm going for a solid. I'm gonna go for 8 hours until someone wakes me up.
I'll call it 8.
Yeah.
Okay, well that is the minimum for a long rest. That makes sense. Yeah, at least for people who need 8.
Yeah, I don't need 8.
Lucky elves. 8 of doing nothing, but only 4 of sleeping. Anyways, so yeah, so you wake up in the afternoon, well rested and ready to take on the day. So what's the first task here that we want to knock out for the day?
Allard gets up bright and early.
Describe
from them, just
bright
by
and
like
early.
an
Yeah, I was
hour.
gonna say.
Bright in
Bright and early
afternoon.
at the
Definitely
crack of
bright.
noon.
At the
Yes,
crack
it is
of
crack
noon.
of its brightest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I get some of my gear together. None of my weaponry or anything like that. Just some, my clothing and everything. And I go downstairs and order breakfast for the crew, hoping they'll wake up sometime soon. On the way out, since I know Tren went to bed roughly the same time I do, I just kick his door a couple times and then
Mhm.
and then I'll order a little hair of the dog.
All right.
Is that a local elven delicacy?
No, it's the drink you drink when you're really hungover from the night before.
Elves don't drink dogs. That's a terrible, terrible rumor.
Very confused.
It's
Hair of
terrible
the blink
slam.
dog.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Wait, what's your summon called again?
Hound of Ill Omen.
I thought
Hair of the
I
Hound of
really
Ill
thought
Omen.
you were gonna go with just like a name like, oh, his name's Bob.
Steve.
Steven.
Steve.
This is
Steve.
Dog
This is Steven.
Apparently, we keep going to Steve.
We
'cause
do.
have Steve the werewolf. Bob knows Bob.
Bob the werewolf.
Yeah, so
I
we're
go to
just
Bob because
right
I like
back
Bob.
and forth.
Between
Bob.
and Steve.
Bob.
Bob.
Bob and
Bab.
Jeff and Jeff. My name's Jeff.
Well, as soon as the
Stupid.
bro out is done.
So perfectly timed.
As soon as the bro love is done.
I hate love you both.
I assume I'm going to be woken up by the smells of breakfast downstairs because this tavern
More
has
like
some-
lunch.
well,
It's like a beef stew.
it's relative.
First
Subjective,
meal of
yeah.
the day
Yeah.
is breakfast.
Yeah.
Yes,
It
that's
doesn't
true.
matter what time it is.
But I mean, we have loved everything this tavern's made, and they have some great food and drink. So I'm probably starving at this point.
The elves live well.
They live very well. Massive snout, big nostrils. Gonna smell that. Go downstairs, meet up with our kind ranger who's bought us breakfast, or at least ordered it.
Okay.
I'm waiting for
After they had all gone to sleep, I went out and got some new robes. And
Oh, you did. You were like, I don't need this. I'm shopping.
yeah,
Shopping.
Yeah.
Was anything open?
I mean, I just went out and looked for it. I don't know. Did I find anything?
Sure.
Because it was like daytime by the time they were
Oh,
all out.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
We'll discuss that later.
What robes did you buy?
Well, I went with blue again because
Okay.
Locke likes blue.
Okay.
Because it goes.
Blue is best.
Yeah.
Because it goes.
Isn't that red? Doesn't red make you go?
Nothing lightning. Like.
Hmm.
That's not a lightning sound. It's like a laser sound.
That's pew pew.
He went with something a little less wizardly and a little more utilitarian. So he's actually got like trousers and a shirt and then like a overcoat. And
Nice.
he's pulled on some leather gloves and he's wearing like leather boots and more leather just to keep things from cutting and scraping him as much.
Nice.
Since he's been walking around in the forest with you people so much.
Style change.
Yeah, so a bit of a style change.
Very cool.
And yeah. See, he went with something a little more outdoorsy, but still lots of pockets. Yeah, well, you gotta have the coat. He's a wizard.
Makes sense.
Good morning, Soyasa.
Morning. Did you order everything for us already?
Oh yeah, it looks like the mutton is pretty good.
Oh, that's probably what I smelled upstairs. Thank you so much, Ulrich. How you doing after last night?
I'll be all right. I mean, I was a little worse for the wear when I first woke up. Pretty big headache. I don't drink a lot. I don't celebrate a lot, actually. But it was good. It was good to cut loose a little bit.
I haven't for a long time. Yeah. Locke was fine. We brought him back last night.
Oh, good. I mean, I imagine the
Oh, good morning.
There you are.
Oh.
Ugh. I like the robes. They look good.
Thank you.
Good. Blue's a cool color.
It is a good color.
No, it's a cool color.
Oh.
Sorry,
I see what you've done. Yes.
Most of my jokes I tell to myself out in the woods. Sorry.
Must be a ranger thing.
Probably.
Ooh, I did have a question. I bought these from a rather funny little halfling, and he said this would be good. And I pull out of my pocket and put an eye patch on. Yes? No?
I wouldn't have thought of that myself, but it actually makes you look mysterious like a pirate.
Whatever you want, really.
Where'd you come from?
I'm behind him. I'm looming over Locke like normal, just...
The hangovers, I think, are keeping us a little tunnel focused.
It happens.
I didn't see you come down either.
I can be quiet.
I've yet to see it, but
You have to be fair enough.
Paps looks all right. I'm not one for fashion usually, but
Me
it does
neither.
make you look dangerous,
But I was indulging.
or at least endangered.
I mean,
Speaking of that, indulging, I want to get the sword. I'm tired of this axe.
well, how much money did you spend? Last I know, we had quite a bit.
How much do you have? Because I spent some of mine.
Oh.
well, yeah, we didn't have access to your little secret
Yeah,
hiding spot
I
when you were
couldn't-
out.
I returned to gather my things from the elves. So from my sleeve, I pull out the little miniature box. Forgot the word, did you?
Yes. Very much.
That's okay. So I tap the chest, like lean down, tap the chest, and it grows into the full size.
Wait, what's the word?
I thought one.
Okay. That's why he couldn't remember it.
No, that is the word. It's an arcane language. I hadn't thought of one.
There you go. That'll work.
Those BSing skills just nat 20s.
Yeah. There's a bit of gold in there.
All right. I spent like 4,000 of mine. That's all I have.
Well, in the box, I only have like 1,000 gold pieces.
I have 151 platinum and then 2,000 gold left. Well, 2,800 gold left.
So you're still doing fine.
Yeah.
Got way more money than I've got.
I've got almost nothing in me. I actually don't think I have anything on me right now, so...
But I want to get the sword. When we were fighting the Leshen, it bothers me. As much as I like the magic sword, I would prefer something else.
No. Axes are usually pretty good for cutting down trees. What bothered you exactly?
It didn't feel right. I grew up.
Did you know how to hold it?
Yes, my father taught me how to use a sword. That's what we forged as swords.
Well, then how'd you come by an axe?
It was in a pile of loot from a beholder.
A beholder?
Yeah. I climbed the chain and beat it to death. Huh.
You saw a beholder in person.
I looked at its eye before I killed it.
Which eye?
The center one.
The eye.
I had to assert dominance.
So
You're
the
gonna have to
axe,
tell me the story sometime.
yeah, the axe you're carrying is from a beholder.
The treasure hoard of a beholder. My other sword, exploded.
You know, that beholder managed to kill me too.
Oh dear, it turned you to stone. You're having a real tough luck around right now.
Well, normally our adventures
Yeah,
are...
I noticed that too. Yeah.
The beholder could actually turn metal or whatever you are into stone?
He's still alive.
It's,
Obviously, but...
It's complicated. Warforges aren't exactly constructs like a golem, but they're not alive like a person. So strange in between. So yes,
Right.
things like that can happen to us.
That's just fascinating to me. I've never met the Warforged.
Catherine is like writing down notes about all of
taking
these.
all the notes.
It's very complex. I don't quite understand it even. I know that maybe in some memory that I can't access, it might be in there, more information about it, but
We're all about memories we can't access.
as far as I
apparently.
know, there's not a Warforged alive that knows where we're from or how we are created.
Well, maybe after Trin manages to get ours out with what happened in Hell, he can work on those for you too.
Well, Warforged are quite old. Might be quite traumatic to have that much memory just dumped on someone.
It could be, but you never know.
You never know. I am curious. It was actually quite a focus of my study before the adventuring life.
You just can't imagine that whatever magics modified your minds would have been the same magics that would have worked on you. No offense, I hope.
It's, like I said, it's quite complicated. It's magic is magic, the effect is the effect at the end of the day. And my memories function the same as yours. I can remember and forget the same way. I do a little better. I like to think I'm pretty smart, but like I said, I know I have forgotten memories that I can't quite recall. So after a certain point, going back, it just kind of fades.
Sounds like the way human memory works.
Yeah, that brings up an interesting question for our DM, out of character. Because I don't know if we've ever specifically, truly asked for a DM description. If one of us sits and really tries to think, like what happened in Hell, like is it just like?
Oh yeah, I've been hitting that.
Is it just completely blank? Is there fuzziness? Like
It's blank. Just don't know.
so, it's like having blacked out.
Yep.
Okay.
There's this remembering a book Locke has. It's called How Not to Give a Fuck and Still Look Useful.
I don't believe I've ever heard of that tome, but
It's great.
Sounds like an interesting read.
It is good. It's a good read.
Seems kind of frivolous to me.
Many things in life are, but some of them are the best. But that means that we should probably actually start to talk about what we plan to do.
Oh, you know what, though? Well, it was late.
What?
We need to go tell Amastira and Elashor about the Leshen.
Didn't we do that last? Oh no! I thought we did that when we came into town.
It was late.
I guess. Yeah, that needs to be done before anything else.
Back to the temple, I guess.
Yeah, has everybody grabbed something to eat from
Well,
what
you know-
Ulrich got us?
Amastira was at the Unicorn Run, and she's probably still there. Maybe we should find Elashor.
I'll be honest, I'll follow you. You know this place more than I do.
Make sure you grab
That's true,
something
it's
off
like
the
a third
table.
home.
Get some food, drink before we go. He paid for it, so
The mutton's good. The biscuits are pretty
the
good too.
mutton's amazing.
I'm gonna eat.
Okay, yeah. So you guys just want to sit and eat?
Yeah.
That's
How
fine.
about just a nice,
Yeah.
friendly breakfast?
Lunch.
That is
Lunch,
now
breakfast.
Brunch.
Lunch, breakfast.
That is fair.
Yeah, they have like beef stew, roasted stag, and then they give you some biscuits, and it comes with a course of cherry pie too. So
Ooh. elf. That's awesome.
So nice
Delicious
full
brunch.
meal.
Is there an elven form of mimosas?
Probably.
Probably. It's the elves. I'm sure
it
they
seems
got.
like an elven drink.
They got something bubbly and sweet.
Yeah,
so-
probably.
I have
probably.
like one
It's like a
biscuit
meat.
that I'm just picking at the whole time we're eating.
Are you not hungry?
I have never had much of an appetite.
Really?
I don't know what it is.
Come to think of it, I guess I haven't ever seen you eat too much. Just not a fan?
Oh, I like sweets and food very much. I just get full quickly.
Oh.
Hmm.
What's your favorite sweet?
Well, in Belindle they have wonderful pastries.
Pastries. I don't think
So
I've had
I
a
quite like those.
haven't had a pastry. We've had some stuff close to here. In Imrath, there's a snack they make typically for children made out of honeycomb that's been toasted with fire, and it's amazing. That's one of my favorites. Maybe I'll have it again one day.
The gnomes are quite lively and make very good desserts.
I've heard that. They seem like the right kind of people to make sweet and enjoyable things.
Well, my favorite dessert's much more exotic than those.
What's that?
So I don't know if it's anywhere else. At least I haven't seen it. But in the West Dales, now bear with me. They take horse hooves and they kind of mash it up, and they create this like pasty kind of
Of horse hooves.
horse hooves. Yes.
Like the trimmings from a farrier.
What does it taste like?
Yeah. It tastes sweet, and it's sort of clear. I don't know a lot about making food.
I'm not sure you've had sweets, so I'm gonna push the pie towards you. Try this.
It does look really good. It's really big and full, and it's like the top, like the places where they've taken out slices already, like most of the cherry is just like pouring out into the empty space.
I will try some.
Since we've been traveling together, and you are a fellow magician, I'm trying to pay attention to you and your connections to the weave. You don't eat much. Maybe not enough for a human?
I did not realize it was abnormal.
Well, I'm just curious. And during the battle, it was very... I don't know. It's interesting. I was just wondering if maybe your connection to the weave had something to do with it.
What did you see her do in the battle that was of note?
Well, the hound was quite interesting.
I assumed it was just a spell, though.
Quite unique, in my experience.
I don't know, it's just something I was able to do. I believe my father taught me that one.
Interesting. This land is just so mysterious. I mean, we all come from different places. I've traveled all over, and I cannot stress enough how every time I go somewhere, even if I've been there before, I see something completely new. It's the first time I've met a Warforged.
I agree with that. If you think that my magic is strange, I've never seen magic such as what keeps you alive.
Well, I suppose that's... Neither have I. I don't know anything about it.
I mean, if you were a stranger and walked in this bar, if you were an elf and walked in this bar right now and saw all of us sitting at a table, we're a pretty unlikely bunch.
That is true.
I feel like I blend in all right.
You should have seen some of the
I mean,
looks
you
of the
blend
elves.
in, but look at just you with everybody else here at the table, and especially if Trim was down here being himself.
I look up at Godric, who's sitting right next to me. Fair.
You would blend in until, well, they saw you sitting with us. Then you become off.
The looks some of the elves give your room when they hear the noises you make in your sleep.
I'm sorry, I roll and hit the wall.
I'm
that
talking
what that
about
was?
that
Oh,
incredible grinding noise you make with your mouth.
It sounds like rocks being shoved
Is that
together.
what that
You're
was?
supposed to wake me and give me the piece of leather.
Well, I'm sorry I was in a condition.
All right, you had fair enough. You've got me
He
there.
has a reason for that one, yeah.
And I needed new clothes. Since I
Look
was making
nice,
you
by the
also
way.
uncomfortable.
They're very sharp.
Thank you.
Very sharp. As long as you're just eating enough to stay healthy, as long as you're not starving or anything over there, I think we just care about you.
Of course, I feel very well.
Good.
It's just, I don't know, like, it's kind of weird not having an appetite. Not that you're weird or anything. Just, like, food. That's part of the 3 Fs.
What
It's
are
important
the,
stuff.
what are the 3
What are the
Fs?
3 Fs? I do not
Well,
believe I've
fighting,
heard that
food, and-
expression.
Fighting and food. I'll give you 2 for now.
Wait. I know the other one. The other one's what?
Fornication.
That one.
Oh.
Right. Okay.
Yep.
Alec's cheeks blushed just a little bit.
Another biological imperative.
I suppose, yeah. They just don't, you said they don't know how your kind was made or how they made more of them, right?
Correct. Every time a Warforged is lost, the number is lower forever.
They were all created at the same time?
That's the running theory.
Fascinating.
Have you met any other Warforged?
Well, we met Brittle during the battle in Hell, and before that, we had known her.
Brittle.
Brittle was the first one that we've seen that was turned on so far.
Well,
Turned on like awake? Interesting.
awake and sentient.
Yes.
Right.
She
Okay.
also seemed to have some extra accessories.
She was quite large. But that's more typical of Warforged. They're forged in war.
They have all of those gadgets?
Yes. Brittle was mostly armor. Quite a thick carapace.
It's an ironic name.
I wish I could remember more.
I believe that was purposeful. Her gnome friend has a sense of humor.
So where's Brittle now?
You know as well as we do.
When we try to think back on the events in Hell, it's like running into a wall. There's a point where you just can't remember.
Trin actually was sent to us to try and help.
Oh, sorry.
Oh no, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
The memories of Hell are much more deliberate than my own faded memory. When I look back on those, it's more of a gentle obscuring, like walking into mist. But Hell, I can remember right up to a point and then blackness. Nothing.
Like falling asleep.
It's more abrupt.
Blackout drunk.
A cutting. Like someone blindfolded you and deafened you all at once.
Yeah.
Anyway, memory is difficult. It's been an interesting lane of study, but I don't take to enchantment magic very easily, so as interesting as memory is to me, I don't have much affinity for it. But more on Katerina and my curiosities. Sorcerers are always a point of fascination for me. So, and they're so diverse. And if you don't mind me saying, your manifestation of your manipulations of the weave are rather sinister for such a lovely person.
Are they? Patty is the only other sorceress that I have met. I can't speak to it much.
Okay. I'm just, we've been so busy going from one adventure to the next, we've never really had a chance to discuss theory or the things I love. I love to teach, you know? I try to teach him, but it's difficult. He once nearly got a prestidigitation. He nearly...
Oh.
It was very
just
close.
like a hatchling.
It was very close. Sparks out of his fingers and everything.
I still think that was just
He may have cheated. He might have been holding a flint.
I still say that it was my normal magic, if you call it that.
Your normal magic.
He has some.
It
We all have
is.
different strengths.
Yeah.
Locke and I are good at manipulating the weave, but you're much better at swinging an axe than I am.
And there's
Have you
some of
tried
us.
swinging an axe? It's a
I'm not
teachable
sure.
skill.
I'm not sure I could lift it.
Well, maybe not his axe.
There's other axes. I mean, some of us are in between. I spent many years studying the weave, as both of you, and I access it regularly. I'm jealous of the control that you both have over it. You have quite a repertoire when it comes to spells.
I had a very good teacher.
It can be taught.
Never mind. Don't worry about it. I'll do it later. Don't worry about it. Okay.
Well, I'm stuffed. I think I ate more than usual.
So is it time to go see your
Whoever we're seeing.
My.
Yeah,
the leader of the village?
Yeah, we could try that. I mean, the Mythal clearly isn't back up. Leshen might be busy.
I mean, we still need to try and tell someone about what happened.
Oh, I agree.
The elves need some good news.
Some closure.
Oh, and didn't we bring part of the stone with us?
I brought some pieces of it.
All right.
Well, if we have things to do, we should get to them. But I would like to sit with both of you at some point.
I'd love that. I never get to talk to Weave. Most of the other Magi didn't focus on it once we graduated and moved on to other things. They were happy with what they knew for the most part. So.
Well, you'll find most casters in general are reluctant to share with their knowledge, but I believe that to be a mistake, especially with recent events. And we should exchange knowledge.
Sounds
Could
brilliant
not
to me.
agree more.
I can show you how to swing a sword more your size.
That would be very exciting.
You can work up to his axe one day, maybe.
I will
It's
say
about as tall as I am.
I will say the benefits of the biology is that you can improve your strength. Mine is somewhat set
I
in
guess
stone.
that makes sense, yeah.
I mean,
Set in steel.
couldn't we just? Never mind. I was thinking, could we upgrade you?
Yes. In fact, if I wanted to switch bodies, it's very possible. I can't do it myself. I would need help.
You could switch into another body entirely?
Yes. If we subdued another warforge, it can be done.
Can we put you in one that is asleep?
It's trickier.
Also, probably some, moral quandaries.
There
with
are
that
moral
one.
questions as well. Like I said, every time a warforged is lost forever at this point. We don't breed, so
That's sort of a sad truth you'd have in common with the elves. They feel every loss so deeply. Even the loss of the unicorns, which, it's amazing to see that much history snuffed out that quickly. It's
there were
sobering.
some rumblings that maybe it had been accomplished again. But if it has been, I don't know for sure.
It's one of the reasons that we went to Emrath.
Yeah, I was looking for anything. The gnomes I had spent quite some time with, they knew quite a lot, and that's more than likely where any breakthroughs would happen, but
I wish I had more to tell you. I never saw one till you in Imrath. I didn't get around too much outside of the capital, but I never saw one.
well, Emrath has quite a collection of knowledge, so
That it does.
I didn't go there for an expert. I just went to see maybe they had something the gnomes didn't.
It brings up an interesting question, though, as we've been so focused on this Leshen, and I barely know you. What, outside of what we're dealing with now, which seems to be going to Leore and getting the orbs, what personal goals do you have? Like, why are you doing this?
To stop the cult of domination and all they stand for. Simple.
Well, that has become my goal. But originally, it was to study my own people.
I originally set out to kill dragons.
Why?
It is... My tribe is... Every so often, it is the shaman's duty to read the bones. And the bones say it is time for a warrior to fight. I point at the tattoos. These are given to a champion, and he is set out into the world to fight dragons. It is our duty to kill them and show Kron that he should still care.
That he should still care. Is it?
Grom has forsaken Goliaths and giants alike. My god does not love me.
I think
That I know.
in some ways, a lot of the deities have forsaken us, haven't they?
But you have never heard a cleric of Grom, nor a paladin. He shows no love.
It's true, I haven't never heard of him.
Neither have I, but that's not saying much.
And basically, when I am sent from my tribe, it is my death. It is a village party. Everyone gets together, they celebrate you. Because when you leave, you are to never return until you kill dragons. No one has ever done this. No one has ever returned.
Formidable foes, dragons.
These runes upon my body, they're supposed to help you when fighting them. Make you stronger in the presence. I've never had the chance. Up until a month ago, I was running away from it for 10 years.
We were walking slowly towards it, I'd like to say.
Dragging your feet.
And
Dragging your feet.
Oh god, because it says dragon in it. Oh my god.
and then I finally think,
Only I can laugh at that joke.
I know what is coming. I think what my shamans saw was Takesis and this dragon war that might be coming. I finally have a purpose again. And then I might get to go home. If I don't die.
Maybe the others didn't have friends like you do.
That's a good point.
That is true.
My goblin is a heavy sleeper.
You know, if you be quiet, I think you can actually still hear his snores through the floorboards.
No, those
Is that a
aren't his
musical?
snores. Those are, he's tuning his guitar.
Is it? Because his snores did have almost a musical quality to them.
I want to cut his snores for one of the episodes and just overlay it right now.
I don't know if you overheard me at the council meeting or not, but I had achieved my dream, which was to be a Praetorian guard. And that was going splendidly until the cult of domination raised their ugly head, and that's what drove me out into the world, into the new life of adventure. And so stopping them is pretty much why I exist at this point.
This far west of Imrath, there's not the cult doesn't have the same reputation.
It doesn't.
The churches they've set up are, I don't know, just churches like everywhere else.
That's not, but they're not all they seem though, and that's the thing that I've been trying to tell people. The council didn't seem to listen to me for the most part.
No,
though.
it's not that I don't believe you. or
I
anything.
know,
It's
Alric.
just it's a different battle out here.
It is.
I mean, I don't even think they're identifying as a cult of domination. That's more of a rumor. Why would you call yourself that?
No, it's. You have to forgive me too. I left Imrath under duress, and I've been on the run for so long until Katarina pulled me out of a tank. It's a bit jumbled, but it's still why I'm here. So.
Speaking of Katarina, I think you dodged the question.
Nothing too interesting. My father often would disappear for a fortnight or so at a time, but when I left home, he had been gone for 2 months or so. So I left to try to find him.
Where are you from?
Just north of the gnomish city of Belindel.
Okay. Right, I think I have a map of the area. I think.
I spent some time there.
It's up in some mountains near there.
Well, what if he's home now?
I am quite worried about that, actually, with how long we've been gone.
Many months.
Well, I mean, I know that there's long distance magics. I've seen people use magic to look into other areas or even send messages over great distances. Why haven't you tried anything like that?
I unfortunately have no magic of that kind.
Maybe just send a letter home?
It's worth a shot. I don't know if a deliverer would venture that far into the mountains. But it's definitely worth a try.
Was your home that far away from civilization, or was the town just remote?
It's fairly isolated. It was quite the journey when I had to venture down to Belindle for supplies and whatnot.
No teleportation circles either, I imagine.
I do not have them, no.
Teleportation circles, are those real?
Well, in many cities of old and larger cities, they exist as permanent fixtures. We actually just used one to get here.
Complex.
Well,
Have you never been through one before?
the only magical form of travel I've ever done is where the plants get out of my way when I walk.
I mean, that's still impressive.
It feels kind of like I'm bullying them sometimes.
I'm told that the magical transportation is rough on a stomach.
A little bit, yeah.
Well, I figure we will know soon when we go to Leore.
That is if we travel there with magic.
Well, we had discussed multiple options earlier after the meeting.
So what is the
As much as I think these orbs are a priority, it might be good for us all if we had some time to reflect on everything that's happened. And we are in a great city. Who knows what kind of knowledge the elves are willing to share and help us with our we shouldn't rush into it.
I mean, you have a point, and I can say that every moment that I spend with all of you that's not fighting is honestly one of the best of my life. Don't we have a bit of a ticking time bomb at this time?
They've been safe this far.
But they've been talked about at the council, and I'm sure word's beginning to spread, and not to mention that...
Word is spreading, but...
What is your intention with the orbs?
I believe that's still up for question.
That is true.
I mean, it's to stop the cult, it's to stop the dragons.
Ultimately, that is the goal,
What do you
to
mean, no?
stop the war before it begins.
There's more to it, Dave. When we get the orbs, we either take them to be destroyed or we try to use them.
I thought we were a fan of using them myself, but...
If we use them, we don't get help of the dwarfs. That is an entire group of people that will not help us.
I know, it's just... It's complicated.
And if we break them, no one uses them.
I don't know how much you
If
know
we-
about dwarves, but if you say they're truly not going to help, if we do that, then... Well, I mean, you saw Dag in his book. That's not completely crazy for them. I've seen it before. I've just never had any dwarves explain it to me.
I mean, this still is on a lot of what-ifs, if we can even get to them, find them, and then we still have to activate them, from what he was saying.
And we still have to fight the thing that is guarding them.
Oh, you forgot
yes,
about that.
Speaking of, Nova told us when we had our meeting with him, he mentioned a construct that is protecting them. It's like a large spider, and it's very powerful. He said it is resistant to magical effects.
Oh.
And also immune to damage from weapons not made of adamantium.
How large can the spider be? I've scared off fairly large ones with fire before.
Oh, this sounds like a bigger one than
I
most.
believe this one is closer to Locke's make than a flesh and blood spider.
Oh, a construct?
Yes.
It is.
So it's just in the shape of a spider then.
Wait, I have a question. Could we put you in that?
No.
Oy,
As
impractical.
it would be quite impractical. Yes.
You would
Thank you. I highly doubt it has a slot for the automata,
Fine. Sorry,
which is the important bit.
I could just see you going on the rampage. It would be great.
And he also mentioned that if we were not to kill the spider, it would just hunt us down.
For eternity.
Wait,
So if we take the orbs, without killing this construct, it will just hunt us.
So it's like a Leshen, but even worse, with a personal vendetta.
It will not give up.
Okay, well, that's a twist.
See, that's
Well, if they activate it, they have to be able to deactivate it.
Or you can just kill it, hopefully. I mean, we killed a Leshen.
I believe his intention was to keep those orbs out of everyone's hands forever, in perpetuity. This construct might never.
I don't understand that. If you wanted to keep them out of everyone's hands forever, then destroy them.
I don't think anyone knows how.
They weren't capable. That's part 2 of our quest is to discover a way to destroy them or activate them, whichever path we take.
Of course, there's no use worrying about that until we actually have them.
So we need to get them.
But
We don't know how to use them. We don't know how to destroy them. We don't know if we should use or destroy them.
see, this is a train of thought I had some time to mull over while I was convalescing.
I think he means dying.
No, it's a different word.
It's that time, yes. It was when he was
This
in the Healy
construct
place.
sounds deeply formidable. And who knows what other traps and contraptions are keeping the orbs safe. Maybe, knowing what we know, we switch part 2 to part 1. We need to decide if we're going to destroy or activate, and we find the means before we find the orbs.
And leave them protected by this construct until then.
Why not?
Surely the construct is no challenge for a dragon. What if that's what comes seeking the orbs?
Well, I don't know for certain that that's the case, but it sounds quite formidable and tenacious at the very least.
Do the dragons even know that the orbs still exist?
I believe the answer to that is no.
The metallic ones do.
The metallics do, but it's because of their betrayal of the pact that they still exist.
Oh, back in the first Dragon War.
Correct.
I didn't read up on that a whole lot. There was... The dragons were ruling, and they had a difference of opinion on how to handle their mortal labor. So they went into
That's a way to put it,
basically a
yes.
civil war, yes?
Yes, essentially.
And the orbs came from that.
And then they were used by the Dragon Knights to
Yes.
kill dragons.
Are there any more Dragon Knights?
There are tombs
They are dead.
which may hold answers.
So maybe we go tomb raiding.
Nova did also mention a contact that he had in Leore, a man named Leshen, who I believe he said studied dragons. He may have more information.
Yes,
Oh, well, I guess we could start there if he studied them.
it's an excellent place to start.
Okay.
Nova also said that we could have safe housing with Leshen while we stayed in Leore.
Are we going to tip any hands if we show up there? I just feel like, especially after that council meeting, our faces might start to raise interest if we pop up in Leore.
I think
I mean,
that after that council meeting, rumors and information are going to spread regardless of what we do.
Well, Leore's not exactly a dangerous, place for adventurers usually. It's a nice area. I mean, the Empress is really well regarded.
Yes,
It's not,
she is, isn't she?
it's not so much about it being a safe place, it's the fact that people might know what we're doing there, and she wanted to get her hands on him also.
And, well, yes, she definitely does want them, and why is probably not good.
And also, Lucian's uncle is a magical advisor to the Empress of Leore.
Oh,
That's a lot of connections.
2 steps from the Hive.
I just don't see the Empress being... Leore has never been expansionist. Not really. Well, not in a long time. If she had the orbs and decided to use them, I'm sure she would have the same end goal as us, right?
After our meeting, I suspect no.
I don't remember.
Well, because you pointed out to me that orbs can be turned against anything.
Well, Leore didn't have a representation at the council.
No.
We don't know what they're planning.
They did not.
All we know is that Nova did not trust the Queen's decision.
That's not what I got from that. But maybe, I don't know.
There is some
mother's originally
disturbing
from Leore.
connections between Leore and the cult as of late. Rumors and such.
I mean, the cult, their churches are everywhere, right?
And welcomed openly.
Right, because they're not. I mean, this domination thing is the go-to rumor. In Tivin, they're the children of Bahamut. They're welcoming it, and they teach us how to understand the dragons of the past.
It's not what they actually are, though.
Our Dragonborn friend fled Amrath because of their
Influence.
interference.
Both they're horrible. They're horrible individuals. They took over Imrath and are pulling the strings from the shadows. I'm sorry if you've had good experiences with them, but I'm sure from what I know of them and what I witnessed, it's they have more plans than they let on. And they're responsible for much more evil than anyone realizes.
Right, well, I haven't had good or bad dealings with them, and I think that's the real problem, is that nobody's really had bad dealings with them this far west.
Because they're good at hiding it. If
We've
you go
certainly had bad dealings.
Multiple times.
if you go to Imrath, most people won't have a bad opinion of them either. Because they're good at this. They're good at playing, what's the word? Puppets.
And I can sense the frustration in your voice. Again, I do believe you. It's just to know the lay of the land, right? We go anywhere. We can't announce that there are enemies. We have to play along.
Yes.
Politics are a weird thing. I don't particularly like them, but I do understand them.
It just doesn't feel like politics after you see what they did up close and personal. But you're right, Ulrich. It's just hard.
I understand. At least as much as I can. Well, we do need to figure that out then, but it seems like Lucian is the best bet, right? That was his name?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Lucian?
Yes.
A sorcerer.
The nephew of the advisor
is
to
he
the
a sorcerer
Empress.
as well?
I believe that's what he said.
Huh.
Now, were you thinking of traveling? Because we had discussed traveling by foot once, but I don't think I heard too much of your conversation with Novar. Can we take circles to get there? Would it be better to take circles?
I do believe that we are able to take a circle there.
It's not far if we have to hoof it.
It's pretty far from here, I think. I thought it was really fucking far.
I mean, from what I remember,
Or was it just down the river? I don't remember.
from what I remember, we discussed the benefits of going by foot
Trust
and
the
as opposed to
ranger.
magic.
Yeah.
Do you know what?
I'm just not.
There's a tool that I
Block
can use
knows,
to
Matt
find
doesn't.
out.
Does your character actually have access to this? Or are you metagaming?
Metagaming.
DM! He's metagaming again! Oh!
West Hills.
Oh, okay.
Told you.
Well,
Trust the ranger.
not that there's any of this is happening in character.
I have a map.
Oh, okay.
The borders of Leore are shared with the ever-setting woods. Marseille is closer than the furthest regions of Leore.
I mean, we talked about the benefits of going on foot, and we talked about the benefits of going by magic. It's just we hadn't picked one yet.
Well, I mean, if we can magic there, I don't see why we wouldn't do that.
Wasn't there a conversation about someone being able to track us with the magic, or am I misremembering things? I got hit on the head a lot in that fight, too.
It's a common thing.
It's becoming more common.
Any teleportation circles inside of the circle of magic won't be functioning, so we can't land on top of our target.
How's it work in that case? Does it just spit us out randomly or something?
That sounds terrifying.
No,
It does, that's why I'm asking.
We would have to go to a different circle in the city or nearby.
Oh,
But if no one here knows the circles there,
Is-
then we would have to.
Hmm.
But there could be someone in the city that can simply get us close.
Is Novar in the city?
He was. I believe he's left.
Well, who's your point of contact in Alestra right now?
Oh no, wasn't he the one that was gonna send us there?
Oh yeah, maybe he was.
Well, maybe we split up. I'll go talk to Leshen, and you go talk to Novar. We meet back and we'll know how we're traveling by then.
We can see where exactly in Leore he would be able to send us.
Yeah.
All right.
Makes sense.
I mean, there's not much of a reason to split up at this point.
I mean, just time. But
Well, it feels like we're actually not being rushed as bad as we have been over the last couple of days.
This is what I mean. Wouldn't it be nice to rest?
As long as you don't think that there's an immediate threat of not chasing us down, it would be nice to...
Resting in Marseille is a nice rest.
it's a very nice city.
I'd be happy to see more of the world.
I'm told the food there is quite good.
Better than this? Because this is pretty good.
Possibly.
That's probably subjective, but I would agree. Marseille, the food of Leore is fantastic.
I'm always down for another trip.
That's our motivation right there, right? The food, not the arms, or the death construct that awaits us. It's the food.
Right, we're playing a new game.
Food hunters.
Yeah, food hunters.
I hear they have this food called lavender.
It's a
And
lie.
I know you don't feel particularly rushed, but I would want as much advance notice as we can get, considering what's on the other side of that line of war if it comes to it.
Oh yeah, Leore's not under. No,
No.
never mind.
I mean, advance notice and all, but we all, got barely 8 hours, maybe, asleep? We could take a day, right?
I don't see why not.
Just a day.
A day wouldn't be bad. That would give me time to go see a blacksmith.
What, Ulrich?
I just don't understand. I mean, I come to town, I rest for as long as I can to wake up and then travel to the next town.
I mean, I commend you on that sense of adventure. It's just, I feel like we've been going since the Battle of Rivergate at this point. Even though we have a massive gap, it doesn't feel like we've had more than we've gotten a couple of nights' sleep since we've come back from hell. We haven't caught our breath at all.
I must agree with that.
But then again, this is the life we choose as adventurers.
Some of us were forced onto the path, but it's just a day. More food, more drink. Let's talk about the weave a little bit. Like, we don't have to, do we?
Well, the only thing is if we have to travel by
Our poor goblin needs time.
if we have to
Very
travel there by
tired.
foot.
Well, then screw it. Let's taste the teleportation circle so we can actually sit for 5 minutes.
No, I'm saying if we have to travel by foot, we have time on the
Oh,
road.
well, that's not really resting.
It's not like you rest on it.
I would
Listen,
rather spend an extra
as
day
much as I
here
don't
and
need
take a
sleep,
circle.
I don't care for dirt.
Does it get in the cracks?
They can.
Oh, that sounds horrifically uncomfortable. When it gets under the scales, it's horrible.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to chuckle. Do Warforged chafe?
It's more.
I feel like the dirt is much worse.
It's more of the principle. I'm just.
He doesn't like the noise it makes.
And. I don't know.
Oh, maybe it echoes. It grinds and echoes in his head.
Does it grind like Godric's teeth?
That doesn't mean.
I am with Katharina. We take a circle and we get a day here for some R&R.
Possibly.
You know, we could take a barge too, though. Then you could have your R&R.
The river does. Right, the river from here goes.
The Twin Severn runs not directly to Marseille, but it runs past Amiens, which is a major trade city on the same path.
And you can take a road straight from
Yeah.
there too.
That's actually
You could
good
catch
idea.
your breath then.
It's not a bad
You're
idea.
just resting on a barge.
I've never been on a ship before.
Again, if the teleportation is available, that's the way I'd suggest. Just because of the speed. Every day that we catch our breath is a day somebody might be breathing their last.
He has a
I-
point.
If this war explodes, it's going to be bad. I've seen a dragon once, and I still have nightmares about it.
I
It's
really,
because you're not the Dragon Lord.
I
Most of the world isn't.
I really have a bone to pick with the green one.
The green one?
Oh, the bastard got away. When we were in Rivergate, we saw a green dragon.
More than saw.
That's very
Up close and personal, more like it.
It actually threw Hargraves.
How large was it?
I was an adult, if I'm not mistaken.
No.
I was big. It towered over all of us. It was as big as we've seen. Me and Locke have seen what now? 9 dragons? Oh,
Wow.
it wasn't the biggest, but it was big. I couldn't give you a description other than it was fucking big. Anything that looks down on me and I go,
It was a chaotic moment.
It was, yeah. It
An
was
instant.
impressive.
It was an elf, and then it was a dragon, and,
And then
then
the
everything
whole-
was exploding.
everything was exploding, there was fire, and then there was a wizard throwing us through a portal. I was very upset about it.
We only saw it in the sky. We didn't have to deal with that. But it's
It
still
was very
impressive.
large.
It's the one I saw was in the sky. A very large black dragon.
Black Dragon.
Yes, the horns, the way they curved, you could, even as far up as it was, I could feel and smell the vitriol coming from it. It was just terrifying.
Sounds terrifying.
But
I
I
don't
do
think
have
they even took notice of me.
They do have a terrifying presence.
I don't know. Maybe this barge thing. The last ship that I was on was a rinky-dink one going through stormy seas, so it wasn't really relaxing in the slightest. I don't know. We've been going for months and haven't had a day. It's just my boat.
I do believe we can take one more day here and take the circle to Leore.
Yeah. I don't mind either way. Rest is as long as I'm fit and ready. I'm good to continue.
I'm
Besides,
sure-
we're not leaving Trent behind, right? He's one of the only leads we have in our memories.
We can just throw him on my shoulder. He'll be fine.
Hey, point.
I'll wake up a day later going, why am I here? And I brought you along. Why? I brought you back alive. I felt it was good.
I'm sure he needs rest right now anyway.
Probably.
Why don't we take up some food for him, and then we'll go talk to Novar and Leshen.
Yeah. Good idea, isn't he?
I'm just getting a little restless. I'd like to get moving. Okay, I'll take some of the whatever's left of the food up to him. I think I remember Trent saying something about being like a meatitarian. So,
They seem to devour it when we have it, yeah.
Likes
so I'll only bring meat up there,
Okay.
and I'll just set it down, knock on the door, and walk away.
Okay.
And then to Novar first, then,
Hey,
good. Yeah.
or I mean, let's go to Novar first.
Sure. Yeah.
sounds like a plan.
I don't know where that is though.
Locke and I will lead the way.
Lead the way.
Okay. So you prepare to set out to go and finalize, I guess, the information you need for the plan.
Yeah, just
I
figure
guess.
out where in Leore we'll end up with the circle, the teleportation circle, and then how to find Lucian.
Okay.
Yeah. Good idea.
All right. Then let's take a quick break. Then when we come back, we
Sweet.
will come back to that.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Awesome. Sounds like a plan. We'll take a quick break and we'll be right back in 15 minutes or so. And thank you so much for watching and hanging out with us and all the
Amazing subs.
amazing subs and everything. You're wonderful and amazing people. We love you. Thank you so much. We'll be back.
Back soon. Oh, and we're back.
Yeah,
He
Hello.
takes that very literally when you say hit it.
Yeah.
just hit it.
Hit
I can't
it.
see any of you.
No. Anyways,
We're on the air with millions of people
millions of people everywhere.
looking just right at you.
Imagine all the people.
They're in our hearts
They're
every day, all day. We love you so hard.
Yeah.
Hi guys.
All right, so welcome back. All right, so
Novar?
Novar,
Nowhere.
correct?
He knew.
Okay.
Okay, just
So to the teleportation circle, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the teleportation circle requires
A soul.
a soul.
Oh, jeez.
I'm sorry,
I have a
Locke.
freshly minted soul. Let's just give him the goblin.
Wow.
Freshly
we
minted.
paid.
He said
yes.
We paid handsomely. Well,
Yeah, that makes that soul
Goblins
more
aren't
rich
real
and
people.
juicy.
It's fine. Just
Maybe
like
if we give it the
gingers.
goblin because it got brought back
Real
to life,
people.
we might get a return ticket.
You didn't hear. We push him into the circle.
Yeah, exactly. Wouldn't that be great if it worked like a coin on a string, in the old vending machines?
Yoink! Soul's ours.
Just wrap her up.
Just push him in there, it activates because it assumes he has a soul, and then you get the free teleport.
Ginger, soul not found.
404. So it's like right on the inside somewhere.
Yeah, right on the inside. Okay, yeah, no, it requires the specific runes to be activated to go through, but it lights up and transports you to Yavalari, to the High Tower of Sorcery where it's connected to. And then you find your way to
Oh, you're right.
I did.
Novar.
You all right?
Okay.
Okay.
Ooh, that was weird.
It
It's like it teleported me, but not my stomach.
It usually catches up with you in about 2 minutes.
Try to breathe.
That doesn't help.
Delayed stomach transport. Symptoms may include, but not limited to.
Gotcha.
Mark another one on the table. That feel good? Yeah. Are you sure? Wasn't like super awesome?
Woo!
Believe me, I can't wait for our new table, so that stops happening.
Every time I hit it, I just look at you and go, I'm so happy.
I just feel, it's the excitement of the new table just makes it feel like it's taking forever.
Yeah.
I know it's
That's
not.
what it is. Well, see,
But
if Tanner has time to build his own shack out of pallets, then we can have a new table built. I'm just saying.
I have bad news and I have worse news, and we'll get to that later.
Now, how about now?
Everything burnt in a fire.
Do you really want it now?
It was a burn in the fire.
No,
that
no.
really would be bad news.
That would be bad news.
If it's that bad, we
No,
want
no,
it now.
no. It's not like the end of the world news. It's just annoying.
That would be
news.
good news.
So, like,
Annoying
construction
news.
is delayed by 2 years.
That would be really
Kind of-
bad news too.
Kind of already has been, but
Oh, self-burn.
Yeah.
no.
No, we
we'll
can
talk
play.
about
We'll
it
find.
later. I don't want to bring us down.
Okay.
We'll
Yeah,
talk about
we're
it.
fine.
Happy news! Happiness!
Novar.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we will ask around to find out where he is.
Oh, you were given directions and sent there the same way you were the first time. And you approach his study and knock on the door, and he opens it, and he's in the room, kind of just standing and working. He's pouring some potions, it looks like. He sees you come in and
Hello.
kind of greets you.
Good afternoon. We brought our friends along with us this time. We wanted to figure out some of the details about transporting to Leore.
By what way do you mean transporting?
There's a teleportation circle that we can use to get there, is that correct?
No, there isn't. The teleportation circle that connects Alaska to here is an ancient moon elven circle. They're point connected. There are many others spread throughout Terrowyn, made when they were colonizing, but most of them are no longer in operation.
Do you know what the quickest way to get to Leore would be in that case?
Probably flying.
Do we have access to flying?
That's one thing I can't do.
It's also one thing I can't do.
I mean, Locke can fly.
It's a limited sort of thing.
Well, then it sounds like we take the barge.
Down the river, then.
And once we do get there, how would we find Lucian?
Well, he kind of stops for a minute. looks down at his table, finds like an inkwell, and pulls out a pen and kind of just writes out on a parchment and comes over to you, hands it to you. This letter should be enough, and you should be able to find your details there.
Thank you very much.
What about the adamantine weapons?
For the Guardian, we updated them.
I'm not sure.
I think we're on our own with that.
Whoa.
Find crafters in Leore or Alaska. Finding the adamantine might be difficult. But we also have magic. That would do the trick.
The problem to be solved on the way, then.
Definitely something to think about.
Magic would not be the most feasible, considering the construct is made of dimaterium. You'll find magic almost unworkable against it.
So then we have to hit it with adamantine.
Well, you have to hit it with something, that's for sure.
Enchanted weaponry? Is it only this one kind of metal that can hurt it?
No, not necessarily.
So just something that packs a bit of a wallop, then?
Yes, more or less.
Your axe might actually just do it, then.
If they're magical weapons, you'll find their effects blunted.
What would you recommend, then, if we were going in with the best possible armaments to take it down?
I would recommend adamantium weapons.
So adamantium all around.
Cool.
Somebody's invaded the circle.
The alarm spell went off.
Yep.
Strange choice for the alarm sound, but... Well, I mean... I've never tried to procure weapons like that. Mine were always provided for me, but... the elves or Leore, is there a chance we could scrounge this stuff up?
Possibly.
We did just save the elves from a Leshen. Maybe they might give us a deal.
That's a good point. We still haven't told him yet.
We could try. I'm sorry. I think it's coming now.
You did eat quite a lot.
It hits you pretty sharply and then it stops once your stomach catches up with you. It's an old saying.
I'd definitely rather spend time on the river.
All right.
Well, do we have
The
any...
elves might have some in limited quantity. Maybe.
Well,
But
we don't.
more than likely, not.
Well,
You're looking for dwarves. That's the most simple answer. The Steel Confederacy is your stop.
Well, they had representatives at the meeting, so we can go back, tell the elves what we did, look for the dwarves, maybe.
They might still be in the city. It's a long trip back to Iron Falls from Alaska. A lot of time spent underground in their old deep roads. They would rest and take time before leaving.
Well, let's kill 2 cultists with 1 stone then and go back and try.
and we won't need very many of these weapons. As much as it sounds important. Even with an adamantine weapon, I wouldn't be much use with it.
You're not going to be any use at all with magic.
I can.
He's not picking a fight.
I might not be able to damage the creature, but I can
I'm saying for him.
empower my allies.
Hey, those of us that can swing a sword.
All right, well then, we're done here?
I believe so.
Great.
I'd pat him on the back. Back through the portal.
Ooh,
It gets
don't
easier.
shake me so much.
It gets easier every time you go through, so...
Nope, not gonna that up.
Any other questions then?
I do not believe so.
You still have the keys that I gave you for getting through the vault.
We do. If you have anything else, if your circle has anything else it could offer, scrolls, items.
None of those things would be useful against the Dimitarium Guardian.
Maybe not, but useful for other things.
Sorry, we can't part with anything.
Well then, no.
All right. Let's throw Alec through the circle and get back then.
Thank you.
All right.
Oh, you were kidding.
You're welcome. Best of luck.
Thank you. We'll need it.
All right. So you
Back to
leave the
Alaska.
room and back to the teleportation circle and back to Alaska.
Oh,
And
Alec.
that pie does not taste nearly as good coming back up.
All of that took like 10 minutes. So yeah.
Prestidigitation, you got a little, and I kind of clear it off your.
Oh. Does prestidigitation make me feel better? It didn't work.
Sparkles.
All right. Well, now.
I hear laughter is the best medicine.
You're right with that.
Some water and I'll be right as rain.
Well, lead the way. You're the one going to go do the talking. I wouldn't vomit on their carpet.
No, they have carpet.
Wash myself off a little bit. What was left from after the prestidigitation? Drink some water. Let's just not do that again anytime soon, please.
Stunning. So
And
strange.
then let's go to where Leshen does does their work, like in office.
In office?
Yeah, so town hall or palace.
Yeah, she she has her own personal residence, but outside of that, most of whatever is done inside the council hall that you did.
Let's go back there. The dwarves finding adamantium. Have to go through them. We could use their help for a lot of other things anyway. Maybe make some friends now, so that later we can stand united.
I mean, there's a chance they still might not align with our goals depending on what we decide to do, but they're worth talking to, at least for the weapons, if nothing else. Tell the elves what we did with the Leshen, talk to the dwarves. Should be able to scrounge up a weapon or two from someone.
Yeah. Sounds as good as any plan. Sounds better than what I thought of, so.
So to the elves then?
Yep. To the elves.
Which ones?
We're gonna go to the council hall.
Okay. Yeah. So as you wind your way through the council hall to the main chambers, you see most of the elves they're in some sort of session, so you're asked to kind of wait outside, and they're discussing local matters that have to do with Alaska and the Mythal and replacing it and the ritual required to do that. And they after 15-20 minutes, they kind of disperse and head out, and Aleshor sees you. He just kind of waves you in.
All right, so I walk in, I bow as befitting of Aleshor's station.
Mm-hmm.
I bring victorious news. We have defeated the creature that murdered the unicorn.
Well, that's great news. What was it?
A Leshen, actually, a fairly old one. It seems to have been summoned by goblins. They were sacrificing their own to it, letting it gain strength. I don't know if there was anything specifically targeted about the unicorn or if it was just drawn by its purity, but it was a Leshen and it was defeated.
Any reason why in particular it was brought back from its burial place?
None that we could find. There was the goblin shaman. We didn't catch him. We didn't see him at all, actually. I can't remember his name, though.
I can't either. It was whispered.
I wasn't there.
Trin probably knows.
I wasn't even near it, so.
I don't remember the name. I could roll a history check to find out.
It was Urakbar, wasn't it? I think.
Rakabar.
Urakabar, there we go.
Yeah, that's right.
The name doesn't sound familiar to me.
Doesn't sound familiar to me either.
Doesn't sound like any of the goblin tribal leaders that I'm familiar with.
The goblins nearby were chained, and it looks like they were about to be sacrificed to the Leshen when we arrived. We defeated it twice. The first time in the glade where the unicorn's body was found, and then the second time atop the hill. And I'll give directions to the hill in case they want to investigate.
No, we're familiar.
But I don't think
It's been
that...
sealed and buried since before I was born.
Really? How would the goblins have known then?
Somebody told them what it was.
Well, I
But
wouldn't-
somebody also decided not to explain them. That the nature of the Leshen is that it's self-serving and powerful and evil.
Well, I think the goblins that are surviving, the ones still there, know now. And I don't deign to tell you how to run your domain, but keeping a close eye on them would probably be a good idea. We have some business yet in the city. We need to speak to the dwarves, and then we're going to make way to Leore, to Marseille. But I do think we were looking for anything that could be of help in our goal. I don't actually know if you're aware of what our goal is, actually, now that I think about it. Looking around at everybody else.
She was in the council meeting with everybody.
We're going to recover the orbs.
If that was the plan, as I'm aware, yes.
Okay.
You should move forth very quickly and recover them and bring them back here.
Well, we had a question about that. Is there any chance that you might be in possession of adamantium, preferably in the form of a forged weapon?
Possibly.
It might prove key into obtaining the orbs. We might not be able to obtain them without it.
They have a guardian, the orbs. A construct made of dimaterium.
I see. Sure, I can alert the Glade Guard and have them explore our armories and see what is available and loan them to you.
That would be greatly appreciated.
Would. We have one more stop with the dwarves, and then we'll be hiring a barge, so that would be where to find us. Is there anything else we can do for you?
No, I think that's it. It's a great deal of appreciation. I believe we can find some sort of reward from the Treasury for taking care of the investigation and eliminating that nasty Leshen from our lands once again. Eventually, we'll probably be back, but more than likely not in my lifetime.
Well, I can write up a report on how we defeated it and make sure that gets interred into your library. It'll have to be at a later time, though.
Fire. Fire's the most effective means to destroying the Leshen, especially one of ancient power.
Wait, did we discover that the hard and long way would hurt?
Apparently it's fire and breaking stones.
The matter of stones was quite useful, too.
Oh, it's burial stones.
Yes.
Yes. Its life essence. A Leshen's life essence is attached to a totem of an area where it stores itself. They can never actually be truly destroyed. They're attached to the very land and divine natural energies that pulse through the world itself.
That's what I had remembered, too. But it seems the threat is gone for now, and hopefully soon you can get the mythal back up. I know how imperative that is.
Yes, the city is quite defenseless without the mythal protecting us. We would not have been able to spare any troops or any assistance. Everything is dedicated to protecting us at the moment.
Well, then at least we've eliminated one of the hurdles to that. Normally, I would consider my service to the Eversetting Woods unneeding of a reward, but we could use everything we could to help us in obtaining the orbs and stopping what could be the most devastating war in Terrowyn.
Well, we can provide you possibly with the adamantium weapons that you're looking for, and then some other sort of resource reward that we can possibly assist you with.
Would be greatly appreciated. Thank you again. And I'll excuse myself.
Okay.
Follow after.
You just gotta turn around and walk away.
All right.
Well, that went well.
They seemed more appreciative than I thought they'd be.
That was appreciative?
For
Very,
our health.
very appreciative.
That's why I'm asking.
If it were a dwarf, he would have hugged us.
Really?
Yes. Very appreciative.
I mean, Dag did have a sense of energy about him. I guess I could see him doing that.
Well, hopefully the reward is something useful.
I mean, hopefully it's just adamantium weapons at this point. It's like we don't really need anything else.
Well,
But money's nice, I suppose.
I don't know how much help
Maybe
the two of us will be in the battle, though.
Well, like Locke said, just being able to enhance everyone's abilities that can swing weapons.
Well, it may be immune to magic, but that doesn't necessarily mean you couldn't use magic to cage it or fool it or something.
Rip
Pick
out
up a
the
rock and beat it with it. Yeah.
rip the floor out from underneath it. Wash it away with water. I'm sure you'll both come up with something.
I'll absolutely try my best.
That much I can promise, yes.
All right, so to the huggers then.
The dwarves, yes.
Yes, the huggers, yes.
Dear, I was confused.
No, yes, dwarves.
Well, they're staying in the council building, so
Cool.
Oh,
that's where they host most of their guests from outside of Alaska are normally kept here, or anybody of real importance for the most part is normally kept here. There we go. While walking through the halls to find the dwarves, you come across the representatives of the Banner Alliance, and more specifically, Raymond Robinfeld and Cassis Merowith, who were the leader of the Westguard mercenary companies. And they kind of see you coming, and they wait for you to pass by, but they stop you. And Raymond approaches you, Soyasa, and asks, pulls you aside. Might I have a word?
Can you all wait a second? One moment. Yeah, yes. Can I help you?
My esteemed commander of the Westguard Mercenary Company had informed me that he recognized your markings on some of your equipment and understands what it means and where you came from.
Well, hopefully that's not a bad thing.
No, it's a good thing.
Oh.
As one of the major contributors to the Banner Alliance, the Westguard is looking for experienced warriors and soldiers and officers to help lead our troops. The Banner Alliance hasn't organized for a major conflict like this before, and we could really use the help of people who are in positions like yours. And we would like to offer you an officer's commission in the Banner Alliance.
A commission? I don't know.
It would pay well.
I'm not worried about money. I mean, it would be nice to have some, but a commission from where I come from, what does it mean for you when you commission an officer?
He kind of looks really confused for a moment, and he looks at Castus, who comes forward, and he's like, it more or less means that you'll get troops to lead in battle. You'll be responsible for their well-being, their organization, their training, and any and all other means associated with facilitating those objectives.
That's quite a lot of responsibility and power to give a stranger.
Not a stranger.
I suppose not.
You're no more a stranger than any of the other adventurers, fighters, and mercenaries that sign up from all walks of life to join the Westguard Mercenary Company.
I suppose. Well, thank you for that.
But the fact that you used to serve the Emperor of Emrath specifically means that we know that you're loyal, skilled, and we know that you are a magic user, which is difficult to come by, especially in the practice of combat. You're extremely useful and be a valuable asset.
I'm flattered. I never thought that something like this would happen, to be quite honest. And especially with how many troops?
We can discuss that with the nature of your commission and what rank you think would be befitting somebody who was once a Praetorian Guard. We have a contract for you. And he pulls out this fat rolled up scroll and just hands it to you. And it's sealed with the official seal from the Westguard Mercenary Company and with the Banner Alliance ribbon, and it looks all official and good to go.
Nice.
Give it to read and decide for yourself.
I will. How long are you going to be here?
A few days.
All right.
And then we have to return and start making preparations for the war.
Preparing for what's coming with...
I believe that's the agreement and the understanding that we all came to in the meeting, wasn't it?
It was, and forgive me, I'm just a little flabbergasted at everything hitting me all at once, but it is the agreement, and I'll give me a little bit and I'll look it over and I'll come speak to you. I appreciate it.
Your perspective on an insight knowledge into the cult of domination would be invaluable to the organization. Not just to us, but also to the truth seekers, the Vanguard Wardens, all who would partake in this could value from the insight that you could provide to us, the tactical advantages.
The fact that you'd even be willing to listen is very enticing, and I do have a lot that I could tell you, so let me take a look. I have to finish a walk with them, and I'll come find you after I have a minute to look through it.
Listen, the council might have felt divided and like it accomplished very little. But that's to be expected of the first meeting of all these powerful factions.
It is.
We are fully prepared to throw all of our weight into the coming conflict, wherever it comes from. We just can't wage war on innocent people who are being manipulated by somebody else's false message. Until they rear their teeth and show their plan and make the first move, all we can do is prepare for battle.
I agree. You make perfect sense. In fact, you're talking some of the only sense I've heard in the recent days.
Well, think it over.
I will.
Castus steps back behind Raymond, who's way smaller than he is, by the way. But he gives you just a polite bow, and
I return it.
And they turn and they walk the opposite direction, or continue the hallway, down the hallway, back behind you.
We'll watch him go and just kind of split the seal with a talon and unroll the massive amount and start to read it over as I try to follow them again.
Yeah, it's a 4-year commission, so
pretty standard.
Yeah, it's pretty standard of what their expectations are. The wages are left negotiable, but they're basically willing to room and board you, at a keep where they're one of their training grounds, and yeah, it'd be like a senior command posting, more or less. They just have to wait to put a title on it because they don't know where
you'd fall.
You want to fall specifically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. What was that about?
I've been offered a commission, of all things.
With the Westguard mercenaries?
It's wags the stack of papers in your direction.
It's like the fucking contract from The Hobbit. Like it just boom.
They want to give me troops, and they want someone with experience on the field, and it might have insight to the cult of domination.
Wow.
They recognize my armor.
Maneuvering wise, that's brilliant. if you had such a hard time with the council, and you could theoretically have the entire Westguard backing you up.
Yeah, the entire Westguard, and apparently a to-be-decided number of troops actually under my direct command and training, which I've never really had before either, only a handful in the Praetorian.
I mean, they pretty much are the army of the Banner Alliance.
I know, it's just, fold it back up, it's a big offer.
Well, I'll take it.
It's probably the best tactical decision that I could make, is to take it. I need a minute to process it.
Of course.
I would feel quite horrible leaving you all, especially at a time like this when you're about to step into the maws of danger again after all the time we've spent together and not remembering. I don't know how much they can do for restoring my memories, but it's interesting.
Huh. The implications alone, that I'm sorry, that was the big problem that I foresaw, was that we didn't have the clout. Nobody was backing you up.
No, not at all, and they seem completely on board with the way that I see the cult, which is refreshing.
Well, I mean, I've seen you in combat. I know how useful you are, so I would hate to lose you in our endeavors, but then again, if we win one battle but lose the rest, the war is lost.
You don't have to tell me, Alaric. I'm a soldier. I know for sure. And you're right. You're very right. Trust me. Every word spilling out of your mouth right now is true. It rings true. It's just I appreciate the kind words, and we have fought together in battle, and I can testify to your skill as well. But I have to ask the three that I've actually been to hell with. I mean, what do you guys think?
You should go where you can do the most good.
And it is the closest thing to what you were doing before, was it not?
I mean, all my skills will come in handy, and I might be able to shore up the ranks and teach him a trick or two about mixing magic with blade, and my insight to the cult. Yeah, it's good.
As someone who can't go home, this is a good thing.
We had a saying, halfway happy. It wouldn't be home, but it would be something. But I mean, we've already lost some of us in hell, maybe to never find them again. We're bleeding people from this group like no other, and I'd be leaving you. Are you okay with that? Do you agree with Godric that this is what we should do?
I will be sad to see you go, but we can't underestimate the benefit of having someone who knows what we've been through in charge of that kind of force.
And we need someone out there who knows everything in case we die.
No, look, you have some fucking dark humor.
That was a joke?
That was a
that's
joke.
why I'm laughing.
Yeah,
Wow.
it was a very dork joke, but it made me laugh at least. And you better not die, because don't make me the last one that remembers all this craziness. That's not fair.
This seems like a very good thing. Don't pass it up.
It is a good thing. I don't think I can pass it up. We can't pass up this many troops or this big of an advantage. So I think I knew it the second they said it. I wanted to hear it from all of you first, that it was okay. One of you had better figure out one of those goddamn spells that can talk to people over distances. Because if I don't hear from you for months, I'll hunt your arses down.
That is a good point. I probably could track something like that down in this city of all places.
I'll tell you now, I'm not learning it.
No,
I would hope not. I want a coherent message as much as I love you guys.
You're just gonna hear screaming. It's
Yeah,
fine.
no, that's fine. I'll hear screaming elsewhere. But just keep.
He brings up a really good point.
What's
if
that?
you do take the commission, you won't have to listen to Godric yelling anymore.
It's kind of endearing after a certain point, though, isn't it?
Well,
I
it's
mean, I
100
guess-
or 200 yards away, yes.
I suppose. I have to take it. There's really no other choice, and I think the longer I stay with you, the harder it's going to be, to be frank. But find a spell to keep in touch, or if you have to, just use a bloody letter, but actually write it and send it my way. I'll try and do the same on my end. I don't know how many mages they have or what kind of magic they have, but maybe it's something even an old scaly one like me can still pick up from the weave.
Well, when do you have to make your decision by?
They said they'd be here for days, but I mean, we're about to leave. We're about to book that barge.
Right, well, see us off then. Spend the rest of the day with us. Doesn't need to be a goodbye right now, does it?
Well, I guess it doesn't need to be.
Maybe we'll share one more drink.
And one more
A
goodbye.
light drink.
Come on.
Yeah.
My stomach is still over there on the ground.
The keg will be on me.
Yeah,
Maybe.
let's finish out the day at least. I like the idea of another drink in this town.
But those dwarves.
Yeah, dwarves.
I think they're going to be right around this corner here.
Oh, that's.
You can tell by the... Can you hear all the yelling?
Oh.
It's just so much less than what we're used to with, it's like background
If
noise.
there's actually yelling, I want to yell back.
It's just, oh!
There's some buster, coming from around the corner, but not yelling per se.
Aw.
It's loud
Dwarves are-
conversation.
Yeah, it's loud conversing.
It's talking with a purpose.
Exactly. Where did I go? Yeah, so after just a few more moments, you make your way to one of the what would that be? Like almost embassy suites, I guess, to a degree. The cordon off area, and you come. It's kind of a courtyard, and there's like a separate building built to house delegates from other kingdoms and empires and such. And there's like 6 dwarves, kind of just sitting in like at this table and this complaining about like the weather and how they're tired of like the sun and it's hot, and they're tired of being told it's polite to eat green vegetables and fruits and stuff, and they want to go back to their hard drinks and their hard ways back in Iron Falls or in Tower Peak. So they kind of see you come in, and one stands up and he's got a big old beard, and it's like braided in like these 2 short and 2 longer pieces, and they have these steel rings that kind of like 4 or 5 of them on each that kind of go up, and it's all braided and it looks pretty nice. And he sees you and, "Oi, what are you doing here?"
We're looking for you.
"You're looking for me."
Not you, you. All of you.
In Dwarven, I'll say, greetings to you and respect to Helgrit.
At least one of you is cultured. What the hell you're saying?
Pull out a
Yeah, what can we do for you?
pipe and I
Hey, why don't you
hand
sit
over a
down and
pouch.
have a drink then with us as well?
Sounds good.
None of the chairs will fit you whatsoever.
I plop down.
Yeah.
I sit down and look
It
at
breaks.
me.
Like boom. Like you sit in and it breaks, and they all look at you. Like, we're just being kind. You didn't have to break our stuff.
I'm sorry, it wasn't well made.
It wasn't that, was it? I'm just kidding. It means that you're well made. I respect the loins that birthed the likes of you.
Afterwards, she couldn't walk for a month. It was great.
Oh, I bet.
What?
So then he comes over to you, takes the pipe, and takes a big inhale of, what is it, tobacco?
Yes.
I guess. All right.
Well, it's Dwarven tobacco,
Dwarven
actually.
tobacco? Okay.
See if you can recognize it.
Yeah. Oh, he does. Yeah. He's like, oh,
It is
it's
weird,
the kind of
isn't
stuff that makes your beard grow thick and strong. And he goes, what can we do for you? We come in here to the representatives.
We're
By the way, none of these are the dwarves who are at the council. They're probably just the retinue. You don't
Right.
recognize any of them.
we're looking for some of the council representatives. We need some help in our task, and we want to make friends.
And we heard that dwarves make the best weapons.
Well, hopefully everybody's heard that by now.
I
Don't let-
also speak in Dwarven. Everyone knows that.
I speak up in Dwarven. Do we all speak Dwarvish?
It's a really easy language.
Why are
How else are you supposed to
why
get
are
the
we all
best?
talking different?
Yeah, I'll lean over to Suyasa. Do you know what they're saying?
I have no idea what they're saying.
Just look.
I think it's,
Also in Dwarvish.
I think
I
it's,
speak Dwarvish too.
I think it's their tongue.
If you don't speak Dwarvish, how are you supposed to negotiate for the best things in life?
It's a good trade language.
There's the reason I know it. I learned it growing up. We used to trade with the dwarves.
The hell with you, Mart.
I've traveled with a lot of dwarven company, actually. I've actually been to I've been to
There
Iron
we go.
Falls
Um,
time ago.
okay.
So,
Okay. So, yeah. Well, my name's Yodith Barrelcoat, and I guess you'd be wanting to see our commander then, huh? Our representative.
very much so, yes.
Yeah, well, I think Brandor's up there somewhere, probably breaking something to Elvin. Well, let me just take you to him then. And you just kind of follow him up, and a couple of sets through a sturdy door, then a set of stairs to like the second floor. And yeah, you see Bromdor Forge Digger like just sitting there, and he's got a table out and this big map, and you know they're kind. It looks like they've been packing things up. You did notice that there were like large pack horses and stuff in the courtyard, and they were getting ready to set out. But he kind of comes in there and acknowledges the dwarf who brought you to him, and just kind of stares at you for a minute. His thick, like red hair and locks, and his beard is stylized in a very similar fashion to the other dwarves that you saw outside. But so what can I do for you?
Well, we were hoping to speak about what happened at the council and see if we could gain your help.
Bunch of dimwits at the council.
What's your opinion of what's going on then?
Listen, I said what I said. All right. The Steel Confederacy has their own problems to deal with. We have to fortify our own defenses.
For what?
In case of dragon attack. Those things aren't going to change their temperaments in their thousands of years of long thousands of years traits and habits. They're not going to let all that golden wealth sit in our mountains.
That's
Come now,
true.
use your brain, lad.
It's true. Wouldn't it be nice to have help from nearby denizens, from the Eversetting Wood, from the Dales, Rowenheim?
I think they need our help more than we need theirs. They need our armaments and weapons. Our black powder weapons, cannons, guns, and such to deal with flying beasts like dragons will come in handy. Don't you think?
Absolutely. Aren't you supplying Bravadis in this time?
Bravadis is at war and they're longtime allies.
Well, speaking of weapons, that's what brings us here. We're hoping you have access to adamantine, even on a loan.
Who's asking? And why?
In order to
Adamantium is rare. It's not easy to come by. You know that.
get the orbs, Something protects it, and the only thing that can hurt it is adamantine.
So we're talking Demeterium, are we?
That's exactly
That
what
would
we're
be
talking
it,
about.
yes.
It's a tough one to break. You know it saps the power of magic users within a certain range of it, right? It's not just immune to magic, it absorbs it.
What is more
Is there any way around that?
Can you rewrite how chemistry and alchemy work? Then no. The answer is no,
Alright.
my large friend.
Not yet.
The answer is no. Listen, we've been smithing. That's what we were born to do. We've worked with every material we can get our hands on. Demeterium has properties just like everything else does.
Then we need adamantine weapons.
And what's in return for it for us? We're leaving. We're going to look after our own in our holds and protect ourselves. I have me loved ones to think about and everybody else as well.
Well, very soon we're going to be the owners of some nice ancient dragon orbs. And I believe you have an opinion on what should be done with them. That opinion could matter a whole lot more than it does right now if we had your help.
But what do you think should be done with them? We heard what some of you had to say, but you seemed conflicted yourselves. I think it's one of the main reasons the council ended up the direction it was.
That's fair.
How can we take the words of a group of adventurers who don't even agree amongst themselves what should be done with such powerful artifacts?
Well, I think that if people don't agree on what to do, the next course of action would be to seek out other people with opinions and hear them out.
Listen, they should be turned and used on the dragons. Simple enough.
I wholeheartedly agree.
As do I.
If you can guarantee the Steel Confederacy that they'll be used as weapons before being any other considerations, and would be willing to take that stance alongside us, we consider fulfilling your needs for adamantium weapons and for possibly supplying more arms to the Banner Alliance. But we'd need everybody else to be on board with that. Listen, our people have been terrorized by dragons and goblins and orcs for thousands of years. Thousands of years, since the dawn of time. Since the orcs first came here through a bloody portal and waged their war, since dragons conquered the world, since Takesis raised the first armies of destruction and took place in the first dragon flights. Dwarves have always been on the front lines, losing our lives and battling on behalf of the others, because the elves will raise none of their pointy ears to do anything for the rest of the realm.
Well, maybe that's
Maybe
where
we
come
sit
in.
this one out.
You sit this one out, and for the next 1,000 years, you'll be terrorized just like you always have been. I believe it's time to break that cycle.
So it's business as usual then.
Business as usual is nice when business is good.
Yeah. We're tough, stubborn, and professional warriors. Our entire culture revolves around this.
I respect that.
We could fight anything that comes our way. But we would be willing to work on it if you can make that pledge to us. Back our claims and the direction we would like to take, and we'd be willing to supply you and help you.
I mean, can we just do that then? Do we all agree? Or do we still disagree on this?
Well, it comes down to one simple factor, and that's that once we have the orbs in our possession, we decide where they go and what's done to them.
Aye.
So that's what you think. See, the problem is this is one of the issues with the shorter-lived races. You don't understand elves. None of you do. You really think those long ears are gonna sit around? You think that you're in control, but they're gonna wrest them from you. They'll play the long game. They're waiting. They want them for themselves, for better or for worse.
And this is why I want to break them. Let no one have them. Better that no one has that power.
Why not? Your people despise dragons?
I am not worried about them killing dragons. I'm worried about the after. I want to kill them as much as anyone. But it is what happens after.
After what? After the dragons are defeated?
Yes.
Then the orbs would become useless. They control dragons, don't they? Isn't that the rumor?
We don't know.
You're
They're
right, we
used.
don't.
Some have said they can be used to kill things other than dragons. So the question is, how powerful are they?
Powerful enough to win a war. They stopped Takesis last time.
And if the wrong people get them, that is a problem.
Then I guess we have to hope we're the right people.
There is no right people.
You bring up a good point. If we can secure the orbs and keep them that way, the elves will try to take them.
No,
For
they
better
won't,
or worse.
they
will
won't take
try.
them by force. They'll take them by convincing you. Either to make more or be used. At least they're on point with us on that one. They believe that they should be used. That's for sure.
So then who should use them?
I don't believe the elves should.
What you think you got?
No, we don't want the damn bloody things.
Then who do you recommend?
Someone.
Maybe Bravada's
Maybe
on
they-
the front line.
Maybe they should stay in your hands. I'm not saying that they're in the wrong hands, being controlled by those who are independent from all the rest of us. But first, they need to be used to destroy the chromatic dragons, and if they must, they be turned on the metallic dragons as well.
I think what he's saying is as long as we destroy the dragons with them, even if we destroy them afterwards, that's okay.
But we can't just destroy such a powerful weapon for use that can be used in this war to turn it in our direction. The Dragon Knights are gone. Their weapons are gone. Their powers are gone. Who else can defend us?
If we use the orbs, we will make enemies of the metallic dragons. So it's not a, if it comes to it, we have to destroy them too. It's when it comes to it.
Ah, see? Now he's getting it. The elves and dragons are all playing the long game.
We buy an enemy either path.
Now the tin can gets it too.
I'd rather buy an enemy that we
But
have
we
the ability
want-
to destroy.
We want you on our side. Use them first.
That I can agree with.
I'm on the same page.
I agree too.
The metallic dragons will want them destroyed, so you'll make an enemy of them regardless.
I will, then they'll have to make a decision when the time comes.
And the decision will lead to their deaths.
No, what he's asking is for us to make the decision now. He wants us to pledge.
I want your pledge now.
There's
Yeah, we
four
did
of you.
that.
There's four of you saying this. I have no voice. Everyone has said something else. I'm not going to argue with it. You all see this, I see something different. But so help me, if the chance says there comes that I told you so, I will be saying it very loudly.
We wouldn't expect anything different from you.
Katerina, do you feel the same as Locke and I?
Yes. Yes, I agree with you. I also believe that no matter what the eventual fate of the orbs, we will be in a better position once we have gotten them.
It is not getting them that we're talking about, it is using them. And we were the ones who climbed that mountain, and we talked to the dragons, and we said that we would get them and break them. Did we not?
We did?
When does it come to us going back on our word? When did we change?
Well,
Where are those dragons now?
I don't know. I've been gone for 7 months.
And so have they.
I don't have answers for you. I've been in hell.
The metallic dragons are the reasons the orbs still exist.
and they could be doing more to help, and they don't. If they had followed through more on the potential of their alliance, maybe our feelings would be different.
I thought
maybe the dwarves would feel
I
different
thought we
if
were
the
supposed to destroy
metallics
them.
helped. But they don't seem to
Not the
care much
dragons.
about the mortal races.
we broke our word first. We were supposed to destroy them.
There's a lot of breaking words from everyone going around when you look at something like this.
Yeah. Whatever. I will do whatever the group decides.
It sounds like the majority of us have made up our minds then.
Uh-huh.
It's a big pledge, though. And you remember Dag in that book. It will not go unforgotten if we break that pledge.
Yep.
Hey, dwarves never forget a wrong. Listen, our arms and weapons will be invaluable.
Especially being delivered to the Banner Alliance.
Then I will say definitively, I am ready to pledge that I will do everything in my power to use those orbs to cow the dragon threat.
Hey, I'm not a stranger to pledges myself either, and I pledge the same.
As do I.
And what of the others who are with you now? What of them?
I will not speak for them.
I have a suspicion that the goblin is just here for the ride.
You can never make those assumptions. Listen,
no.
the truth seekers attached to him to you for a reason. Those lore walkers are spies, thieves, and that's what they do.
I know,
I mean,
but
he's watching you as much as he is assigned to help you.
many eyes will be watching us, but you have to listen to the people that have actually been through hell, especially the three here from the Heroes of the Vale. They're the ones that have been through hell. They're the ones that'll get this done and actually make the pledge. They can't speak for everyone around them. You have to trust them.
You're right. Go back to your compatriots, get their pledge and agreements, and come back here. We'll wait till the end of the tomorrow before we leave to get word from you all.
That's fine. Did you hear of the unicorn murder?
Oh, yeah, of course. And the elves are all out there whining about it.
Fair.
They rely too much on magic for their protections to solve their problems when some good old steel, a sturdy, strong hand to hold it is all you need.
Steel and sturdy, strong hands is how we ended that threat, though. I'm not sure the news has reached you there yet.
Lots of magic.
I'm so worried and concerned about the details. Like I said, we have our own to worry about at the moment. We're shoring up our defenses at Tower Peak and Iron Falls.
The point is the elves owe us a political favor now. And if we can all agree to the same terms, playing the long game or not, maybe we can get them on our side long enough.
Maybe. We'll have to see how that plays out. Listen, dwarves might be known to be stubborn, but elves are pragmatic.
I thought it was the other way around. Westdale's joke, sorry.
They'll do whatever they think is in the best interest of what they need accomplished 10 years from now.
It's true. Well, I think you have us right where we need to be. We speak to the rest of the group, come back to you and pledge if we can.
So what, we're just missing Trin?
Well, yeah. Dag left.
And Lumi.
Did you even find her, though?
We have no idea where she went.
She's been a member of this group longer than anyone.
Well, she's not here now.
Well, it
and
is
she won't be on
impossible
our
to-
mission to get the orb.
It's impossible to get her a word before.
Forgive me. Who was Lumi?
They're one of the other party members.
She's on another mission at the moment. I do not know the details.
That's what I'm trying to say, is that there's so many people in orbit around this group that we can't convene everyone at once, and some of them are still in hell. So we can talk to Trin, we can get Trin's word on this.
Well, your friends in hell are dead. Their opinion doesn't matter. That's not who we're talking about. We need a firm commitment for all the party members here that you consider close to you and that you consider your allies. The more the better.
Okay.
So just Trin, then.
I believe so.
All right.
Okay. Well,
So
you
wake the
said
goblin up.
we had till tomorrow, and we need to get moving faster than that, so we'll be back soon. Set that gear aside. We may be needing it.
Let's see what we have.
Thank you.
Let's go.
So you're escorted back out, and kind of just sent on your way.
Might we see what the elves offer us first before we make any pledges. We may not need the dwarves at all.
I don't know. I'll be honest, I don't know how I can pledge. I've already told someone once that I'd get them the orbs. And I just feel like I'm going back on my word. I don't do that.
Locke was really particular about the words he used with the pledge he was willing to make. He didn't say destroy the dragons, he said cow the dragon threat.
But this has also come from the man that said he would genocide them. It's something else I do not agree with.
I was upset. Mostly at my peers in the circle. There's no reason to do that. But the weapons could be used to give the other races a much needed hand.
If we're going to use them, fine. But I want to break them after. I don't want anyone else getting that power.
What if we can't?
Yeah, we don't.
We just put ourselves in the same situation we found ourselves now. If they cannot be destroyed, they should just be openly used as a deterrent, at the very least.
You have to put yourself in the best position on the battlefield that you can, and right now having the orbs is the best position. We can destroy them down the road. There's a million different options, and it's not worth sitting here and thinking about every one that could play out. Having the orbs is the best position of power to be in.
Now,
And I've already told someone I would give them the orbs.
those dragons will see no threat from us.
Who did you tell? Other dragons, is that what you mean?
Yes.
Who?
Me, Locke, and Hargreaves all said we would go find the dragon orbs for those dragons. And then they helped us get to Rivergate. And then they helped us save as much of that city as we can. They have given us more than you would like to remember.
But we haven't. No one's seen them though.
Saying they aren't.
And again, I'm just stating my side. I will go along. I just don't know.
So is the compromise then that before we make...
I just want to make sure other people don't get them. That is all I really care about.
I understand, and I agree.
I think that's what we're all trying to say.
Well, the dwarves don't want them. They just want them used.
Alright. Then I guess I could pledge to use them.
And if you can find some way to contact these dragon friends, if you can call them that of yours, then...
They just happen to be people who help. There's no friends with dragons.
Well...
It's confusing, I know. I'm still
We
confused.
can't pass up the fact that the dwarves said they were willing to outfit
It's an
the Banner Alliance.
It's an enormous edge.
I mean, we could also ask other people too.
Who? Who would be able to outfit them? The elves don't have cannons.
Eliana. What? Ask what other people think too. We have these powerful people, as Soyasa has said, all these powerful people in one place. Why not ask them?
It just becomes a matter of time at 1.2.
And we have a teleportation circle.
It only goes to one place.
We're the place we need to ask. But I don't know. All of this is so confusing. All of this talking and promising. Again, I just don't agree with it.
I think at some point we just must do what we think is the right option.
Aye.
We will never have all of these people agree on the same option.
And it seems that
Only
you've all
we
made up
need
your
to
mind.
agree on the same option.
Well, and it's what the dwarf said, that he felt that the council, the reason that it kind of fell apart on us is that we didn't have a united front. If our united front is simply, we're getting the damn orbs and we're going to use them, I think a lot of them are going to fall in line. We'll probably get extra things. The elves might help. Other races might outfit troops as well. They just need to see a unified front. They need to see the heroes of the Vale committed to a path and unified.
Then it looks like we're keeping them and using them then. Because it's not like I'm persuading any of you.
It's not like anybody's put you under a magical bond, Godric. Things can change in the future, but for now you gotta present a united front.
Up until we make that pledge, things can change.
Again, I'm saying I'm willing to go with it. I didn't say I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not going to hold us back. I'm just going to be upset about it. I'm not going to yell or scream. I have an opinion, and it's
you're
not heard.
entitled
It's
to
fine.
Well, I don't think these orbs are powerful enough to cause a genocide, and if we happen to...
You don't know anything. None of us do.
Let's head back and talk to Trin.
When we get to
That is the
Leore, we may be
problem.
able to get more information about what the orbs can do.
Hey,
That is the problem, is that we're pledging ourselves now before we know what they do. For all we know, they could be a fucking just explosion.
Well,
And if
in
one...
that case, we would have upheld our end of the deal.
She's got a point.
Ah! I'm not talking about now!
We will use them to the best of our ability.
Fine.
We will, in my opinion, what we need to do is what's best for as many people as possible. Not what's best for dragons or elves or dwarves.
hey.
What's best for the world and the realm.
I just don't want to pledge myself to something when I don't know what they do.
I don't think a pledge is more important than all the lives we could save.
Thank you, Locke. Exactly. You can make a pledge, and I'm not a fan or a proponent of breaking pledges, but say you make a pledge and then we find out some dark truth about the orbs, break the pledge. If it saves the world or destroys the cult or stops her from coming back, the pledge isn't a magical fucking bond.
Yes, it is. There is magic in your bond. There is magic in your word, especially with dwarves and elves.
My magic comes from a pledge. What gives me the power to kill dragons is a pledge. Pledging myself to someone is hard.
Then don't, and step aside. Pledge yourself to the realm. We must do...
I want to pledge myself to do what is right.
We must do what's right.
That is it.
Then do that.
I just don't want to be... I don't want to create a problem if all of you want to do it. If my decision prevents us from doing it, that's what I'm worried about now. If me saying I would rather pledge to what is right, and the dwarf has a problem with it, then that ruins everyone's problem. It makes everyone have a problem.
Well, if we're being honest, then I may be a bit biased in my pledge. Your mercenaries would guard my people. Them being outfitted would help. I saw that dragon in the West Dales, and the thought of a single one coming to Tivin is devastating.
Terrifying.
I would do anything to save my people.
There's nothing wrong with that.
So,
I saw one dragon fight another dragon, and that is what makes me hesitate.
Why? I'm confused.
I've been raised my whole life to kill dragons.
Hate and kill them.
Hate and kill them and worship Crom, even though he hates me. The first time I ever met a dragon, they helped.
Yes, but to what
That
end?
is confusing. I'm not saying...
Do you trust them over me?
I don't trust anyone.
I just believe that this pledge is, right now, the best thing we can do for the realm.
Hey,
All right.
When we reach the future, we can reassess. But right
Agreed.
now, this is the best thing we can do.
If you are truly willing to break this pledge if something goes wrong and they are fucking evil, then I am okay with that.
one does not simply make a pledge and then break it.
I do
So
not
what, did we
intend to
piss off
break
all the dwarves?
I never intend to, but I'll do what's right.
If you go in to make a
now
pledge
and have
knowing you're
always
willing to
intended
break
to
it
use these
under
orbs.
circumstances, it's not a pledge.
I guess
That
it's
is
not.
my problem.
But I also don't have a problem deceiving people to get what's necessary done.
hey. It's for the greater good.
I just don't deign to believe that our wisdom is somehow greater than the entirety of the Steel Confederacies or the elves of the Ever Setting.
And
And yet they saddled us with the responsibility. We are empowered with choice. And if they didn't want it that way, they wouldn't have gifted us this opportunity.
Yes, choosing us was their option. From here on out, it's
They could
up to
levy
us.
whole
Maybe out of
armies.
desperation.
They
Who
could
else could they
levy-
spare?
One thing I can't do is trust all of you. The dwarves said they would understand if we kept them. I trust all of you.
Anyway, let's gather ourselves to rest another night, get Trin, discuss the situation with him.
Hey! Hey!
We can
Really bad kinking like that.
choose our commitments. We should think about it. Clearly, we have some conflict still.
I will, if you are willing to break it, if it is needed. If, like, they are the worst thing imaginable.
They don't need to be any
In
of
that
those
case,
things.
maybe the dwarves would understand.
Maybe.
That is true.
The future is always in flux.
We don't know. We must take things as they come to us.
The dwarves aren't unreasonable. If we find out that those orbs, the only thing they're capable of is ultimate destruction of everything, and not just what we point them at, they're not going to use them. They're not suicidal or insane.
They don't want to wipe out all their settlements.
All right.
It comes down to what you just said. I trust all of you. You have my pledge. I've been with you long enough that I know that whatever you choose is going to be right, and I'll back you up.
I don't know.
I've known you for about 24 hours. You seem to want to do the right thing.
That
Some
does
of you
raise a
were
question.
hot-headed.
So you will be coming with us to Leore then? You want to continue?
Unless you know how to get there on your own.
Yeah, we take the barge and then we go there on the road.
The barge does not go all the way to Marseille.
No, it goes to a town, and then from the town you go to the city.
I welcome your company.
Thank you.
Let's
To
It
Trin
seems
then.
that we have our answer now.
let's rest again.
Hey, get that drink.
Talk to Trin, make a couple other stops, see what some of the other
We have to book the barge too.
groups of power offer. Yeah, we don't even know if there's a barge leaving anytime soon.
Ah,
Pay enough gold.
Hey, pay them enough gold, they'll leave today.
That's true.
that brings up an interesting... I don't know if I can see Trin again.
Why?
It was hard on me watching him die and carrying him back and seeing him come back to life, and I don't know, maybe it's best if you have to go back and find the barge and see Trin and all that, maybe I should just make my exit here.
Is this your goodbye?
I was hoping it would involve a little more alcohol and merriment, but I don't know what you all think.
Well,
Choice is yours.
southwest, quite a ways from here, they call that a Medrian goodbye. And some
Medrian?
people, it's a really nice mercantile nation.
I'm unfamiliar with it.
But some people consider it a sign of respect. Other people think it's just a way to keep the hubbub down. But if that's what you feel you need to do, then leave a note for someone.
Honestly, I won't even know if Trin will miss me. He didn't really react as I expected when he came back to life. But then again, I've never been brought back myself, so
He probably was just really confused and shocked.
he did seem very confused and shocked. It was kind of funny almost after all the intense emotions of the whole thing.
The amount of money and power expelled to bring him back had to be a bit humbling for a goblin.
I don't think he has a humble bone in his body, but that's sort of the charm.
Or he just doesn't want to show it.
He might be really good at hiding that sort of thing. But
Goblins
yeah,
have layers, it seems.
Like a parfait.
like a parfait.
I was thinking onion.
Onion
What
doesn't
about
have layers.
Cakes have layers.
Onions don't exist in Terrowyn. God, get your lore right.
No, they do. They're just not. They don't have layers. They're just a solid piece of
Just a
money.
solid mass. Oh God.
Weird.
When you cut it, everyone in the city of 20 meters just goes ah.
I mean, Trin has my cloak. He's got my Praetorian Guard cloak, so that'll be his way to remember me and everything. But I feel, I don't know. The longer I stay with you, the harder it is to leave, and we're already close to my new friends, I suppose. So I think I'm going to take this contract, and I'm going to go get those troops that'll protect your people and a whole bunch of others.
If you ever find yourself in Tevin, there is a white garden. And at the white garden, there is a beautiful, massive oak tree. At the base of that tree, there is a plaque. Leave Leave some mutton there.
Mutton.
Yeah. Leave some mutton there. I'll know you're well.
All right, I'll remember that.
And if we find a way to get our memories back, we'll find you.
You damn well better. It's rather uncomfortable having that large of a blank spot in my mind, so if Trin does figure something out, just make sure he doesn't mess around in your head first, maybe Godric.
I'll give him a practice
To
run
perfect it,
first.
yeah, before it falls apart. Well, I wish you all the best luck and love in the world, and like I said, find a damn spell or something to tell me what's going on, otherwise I'm going to be an angry little dragon.
I'll work on that.
With troops that can find ya.
I'll work on it. I promise.
Good, both of you work on it.
You are the first friend I've ever had, so I
I,
won't forget you.
Wow.
after leaving Imrath, I'd say that you're mine as well. Thank you for pulling me out of that tank. I appreciate it. Well,
I'm gonna offer my hand to you.
reach over and take it.
Pull you in, give you a pat on the shoulder.
It has been a pleasure to fight along your side.
Step back just a bit from the hug. Reach up and grab your head and try to pull it down a little bit.
I lean in. Well,
Now I'm gonna headbutt you as hard as I possibly can.
No. And there goes the prestidigitation.
That's not needed.
See? Pretty damn hard myself, right?
You might have knocked a tooth loose.
Then I don't call it a successful headbutt.
I call that a good goodbye.
It's been a pleasure serving with you and fighting by you, and especially what you did to my weapon. I'll remember that forever.
If you ever need anything, chances are I probably won't see you again.
Ugh.
I may die along this journey.
Not
With how
good.
everything's been going, it's gonna happen.
Not good about goodbyes. Keep him safe. Don't argue too much with Locke.
We have our differences, but that's what makes us unique.
I suppose. Just stay safe, you big oaf.
Yeah. You as well.
No more dying either.
Well, technically I didn't die.
I saw something touch your insides like I've never seen. You were close.
Well, yes. But I'll be alright. Besides, even if something does break my body, just take my heart and keep it safe.
Such a strange concept, but
It's
as long
weird.
as you're alive. Maybe write some notes on the weave for me or something. If you can send that in a letter form.
I will work on finding that spell.
I mean, if you could just teach me that would be an achievement of a lifetime to be able to do that little dingy.
I will do my best to send you instructions on how to... Yes, yeah, I can do that.
It'll let me know you're safe at the same time too, so
Yes,
be a good idea.
I think we can manage it.
Well,
Should be well within my capabilities. Just find it. Someone to teach me.
oh, that reminds me. Reach up and take off the amulet that everybody's seen me wear and maybe use before in combat. I'm just gonna reach over and drop it into Katarina's hand and say, I'll be back for that. So keep it safe. I've used it on you once or twice in battle, and it can be really handy in a pinch. It's magical. You'll probably pick up how to use it really easily. Keep it safe, friend, and I'll come back for it one day, okay?
Of course.
Goodbye, Heroes of the Vale. I'll see you soon, hopefully.
Yeah.
I'll grab the papers and shove them in a bag and head off.
Okay.
Well then. Off to buy a barge?
No, we're not gonna buy one. She
Okay.
hit you pretty hard.
No. Rent barge. Whatever.
Right, we'll talk to Tren and the elves too. We'll talk to the. Well, we might as well see if there is a barge available before we make any other decisions.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Yeah, I'll follow your lead.
Yeah, I'm behind.
All right. I usually travel on foot. So I will turn to the nearest denizen of the city and ask where I can go to rent a barge.
Do I hear him ask? I'm like, the river's over there.
I'm aware of where the river is.
Can't you just follow it to a port and ask around?
I really like traveling alone. I'll start walking towards the river.
So after the somber moment of wishing Soyasa well and sending her on her way to new adventures and a clearly important posting with the Banner Alliance, considering that she could add a whole swath of allies and support that you didn't have before to your cause, you lighten the mood and head to the river to try to book passage on one of the many trade barges that come from Alaska down the Twin Severn to Leore. And that's where we'll end until next Friday. But, we look forward to continuing to go forward with the campaign. Thanks, Kira, for joining us for the length of time that you have. And
Thank you.
it's super awesome and great to have you here at the table, and we appreciate your time here.
Thank you.
And we will be seeing lots more of Kira in a lot of different ways. So.
Yes, for sure.
Playing in the Saturday games. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be there tomorrow.
Yeah.
Not just back
And
out onto
next
the
week-
street with you.
Yeah.
No, that's what's happening. Like once the cameras go off, that's why
Yeah.
the dress is like.
Back to where we found you.
Yep. That's
the
how it
roads.
happens.
Get it.
Saturday was pre-recorded, so.
Yeah. Just the one time.
Yeah, just one time.
But so we hope that your week is as legendary as our Friday night was, and we will see you hopefully tomorrow. Same great time, same great people. Good times. Thank you so much.
Have a good night, guys.
Have a good night, everybody. We love you.
Good night, everybody.